of 3, first series of the day. This is going to be a real good one. Before we can talk about anything, Nightfall is literally AFK. And he's going to die to who? The pause comes. Oh, my God.
Well,
wow.
Welcome to day 1 of DreamLeague. Me, series 1 of the day of DreamLeague, where all of Aurora will just... their boot camp crashed.
Wow. Okay, so... Damn. What the horse happens now?
Yeah. The song went so hard that they all just DC'd. They got played out.
I have never seen this before. That is insane. So...
Unlucky.
Yep, they will certainly take the kill. I was going to ask the question, do you let him live because he's super unlucky and it's just bad manners? But, you know, I think you just take it. It's just part of the game.
I think what you do here is you draw straws internally, and whoever draws the shortest straw has to take the kill, and everyone else can look honorable and walk away.
Yeah. So Makoto...
And then that person gets the bad press.
The person you want to have is Makoto, though. 100%. And he's right next to him. So...
Yeah. Makoto, yeah. I think I would give it to Pango as well. But
Nightfall is going to be furious. That head of hair is just going to come right off his head when he finds out that he's about to get first blooded.
Yeah. The thing about when this kind of thing happens, I mean, let's see what happens first of all, right? But
what do you think's going to happen?
Under the assumption that they just kill him and the game continues. It's one of those things where you can only be angry at the situation, but not at any person, right?
Right.
It's just super unlucky and it's stupid that it happened, but then you move on. There's no one to blame, except if Toronto Tokyo kicked the switch.
I'm sure Nightfall can find a reason to blame Toronto Tokyo.
I'll say about that.
Yeah, BSJ's really created this thread.
Yeah, he sure has. And if there's anything you love, it is drama about...
and somehow that thread extends to GPK.
Yes, I was just going to say...
Despite him not being on this team.
Yeah, but he played with them in the past.
He did.
He has been influential in the upbringing of Nightfall.
It's like he's a spy.
Yeah.
He's infiltrated them from the inside.
From the inside.
Gets kicked. Or I guess they got kicked. Whatever the case may be.
He played the long con.
Yeah, it's... truly genius, the true evil genius of our time, GPK.
Yeah, such an evil genius. He had to disband evil geniuses to be the only one.
That's right.
He also somehow did that from the outside.
Boy, what? Let's not talk about that one. That is one of the worst esports stories of all time.
Well, did you see they changed their logo somewhat back again?
They're still around? I thought they were dead.
No, but EG still exists.
All right, player cam's back on, it seems. So.
Cuckoo's laughing.
Yeah.
He's happy to get first blood.
All right, I want to see Nightfall's face right here.
I want to take this opportunity to talk about 2 things, Shannon. First of all, make sure you guys wish list Relic Arena on Steam. It is.
I was gonna ask about this. I was gonna ask if someone was gonna. Okay, they're just joking.
Yeah, they're gonna suggest.
I don't know what the rules are for a remake, but
you need to let me out. This is actually. I will side with Nightfall on this. I don't think he could have really died there if they were paying attention. If they weren't disconnected. He's going to see them
paying
walk up.
attention.
Well, yeah. If he wasn't looking at his hero while they were still playing, then he would have died. But
yeah, if he had gotten up for a cup of water.
Because this is something I wanted to talk about in general with this strategy before everybody disconnected. I am not the biggest fan of Flipster Talon's draft in this game because they have literally 0 catch. I think sometimes...
They do if your internet goes out.
Yeah, true. That's the ultimate catch, as a matter of fact, is disconnecting the enemy team. However, you're playing with...
No, they actually will let him...
We'll see.
Oh, now they're saying don't do it. This is getting... There's a lot of stipulations now with this agreement.
I mean, this is honestly an interesting contract. We let you live if you let our ward live.
Yeah.
And then in a minute, GPK is just going to connect to the server and de-ward somehow.
They will let him live.
out.
So
wow.
Honor lives here. He uses the
respect
wand.
that. I respect that. Okay.
They do lose a bit of positioning here, though, for the bounties. He has to walk all the way back to base, so...
Well, Talon might get a little win out of this.
Well, it is a win because now you have that ward that's not going to be dewarded supposedly. You have better position to take the bounties.
Yeah, it's a little win. I think they're going to get 3 maybe.
Now the question is, I mean, he had 13 health, Synderen.
Yep.
If the RNG on the attacks goes another way, and he got first blood before, do you think they remake? I actually think they just play on, probably.
I'm not sure.
The battle begins.
Here we go.
Didn't think you were a hypotheticals kind of person, Makoto.
Ooh. It looks like Flipster
Decent
Talon.
damage. Okay,
Quite a bit of damage there.
let's quickly follow through on this this whole drafting thing. What do you think? Because I look at Flipster Talon and I see, if you want to make it really simple, let's say you have a lineup that has catch. That's how you start fights. If you have a lineup that does not have catch, usually what you want to have is some sort of way to push towers and take objectives. Because then you can force the enemy team to fight you.
Correct.
You don't have that either.
Oh my god,
And you have
first
a
blood
dead silence.
after all of that is going to go to Aurora. What the hell am I watching?
I think Cuckoo should have, the Giga Chad move there is
Pause it.
disconnecting. When he was about to die, he should have DC'd.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's my biggest concern here for Talon is how will they structure the game so that their heroes get to do what they're meant to
No,
do.
I totally agree. I mean, I think for me, the Riki is a huge wild card.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a ton of it. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but you're right. They don't have catch or initiation rather, and they don't have any building in it. So I'm just going to favor Aurora as well in this game. But we've seen Talon pull stuff out that doesn't necessarily look good because they've been on a heater recently. Joe Camp going to get harassed out for the time being. But yeah, let's talk about the Riki. We saw a Riki support yesterday. This is a Riki mid. What are your thoughts on the hero as a whole?
Oh, they overall last picked it, so they must have seen some really serious value in it. And there are multiple big positives here about the Riki. So first of all, Omni Knight and Pango heavily reliant on freedom to be able to cast their spells. Makoto actually taking a beating here in mid. And you have what Riki loves is to either play with heroes that can bring heroes to him, or at least have long duration stuns so he can get all of his swings off with Tricks of the Trade. And have heroes that take advantage of the vision that he gives, and they have both. Because if he gives vision, you can find tossbacks, you can find skewer plays, and in turn, those two heroes also have the stun. So I think this was a brilliant last pick, actually. On top of all of that, the lane against Pango, I think, is very playable, too. Riki has some very bad matchups.
And I will say,
of
out of most of the spells in the game, they did ban Bloodseeker, like the Rupture against Pango is really annoying. Smokescreen against Pango might be one of the best
It's really
spells against the hero, period, because he does not want to buy Force Staff or anything of the sort. And eventually he can get Shard, right? And that prevents the allies from clicking on the heroes inside Smokescreen, which means you're the one that has to buy the Force Staff.
And that's the other thing about Pango. What he oftentimes buys against heroes that annoy him is roll up, but that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
So your usual plan B is not in play.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool pick. We'll see how it works out. What type of build do you want to see on Kiyotaka? I'm not, like,
Does Riki have builds?
No, I mean,
Isn't it always Diffusal?
well, Diffusal, Ags, we see a lot as like, because when they're playing it a little, I mean, depends on what
23?
type of build you want to go for this mid here. It's 23 Savage.
first. Oh, Mira with the salve also stays alive. Clutch play there.
Wow.
Great start for Aurora. Yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, I obviously know you meant more than just one item, because Diffusal will almost always be the first. After that, this game, kind of like a potential... Is Manta still a thing? Because you can break out of Global Silence, which is like the one thing that can kill you almost.
Yeah.
Could also just, like you said, see the Axe Basher build. Let's see what Kiyotaka fancies. Do we ever see Ricky's by Blink Dagger? Ever?
Wait,
I know it sounds crazy because you have 2 charges on Blink Strike.
How does Swift Blink work these days? Does it benefit him?
It should, right?
The change they made a while back. Joe Camp taking a decent amount of damage. Mira dies in the top lane, so 23 Savage getting a little bit of revenge. He's damaged quite a bit right now, though.
Well, Swift Blink giving 35 agility for 6 seconds is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's right. So that I couldn't remember if it was before. It was a little bit different. So that actually works out quite well. I mean, that's pretty late game build.
Yeah. You would never buy it as like a primary thing. It's just, again, we're looking at a game where the enemy team has so little catch that if you have that, you just have an additional tool to just play around with them.
I think the question really is if you will go Ags, because that will allow you to farm.
Oh, he's in on Makoto.
Tricks of the Trade. The smoke screen, no follow-up, though. But the hero can't really farm, so it's about diffusal. How many kills can you find with it? How much pressure do you want to apply that early on? Or are you going to play more the farm build? So, time will tell. I mean, when people used to play position 1 Riki, Battle Fury was the thing, but
Yeah.
Ags was buffed to the point that it's just more efficient to buy that.
Yep.
But being mid gives them a little bit more leeway to kind of figure out what build he wants to go for. Yeah, it's just such a... I mean, I think Manta is required this game against Global.
I'm not sure, because you could also take... The upside to going BKB instead of it is that you can pretend Pango isn't real. Which is, of course, Quinn's greatest fear. Nightmare.
Making a decent amount of damage here. Panto will block the path.
Lanes are going quite well for both sides, really. Nobody is truly suffering. This damage onto Panto. Jokem, really nice play there.
Blood Grenade finish off, man.
Yeah. Tame the beast to proc the foul play.
Rolling Thunder coming in. Cuckoo's in a lot of trouble, but if they can turn this around onto the Riki, the perma-stun not quite there, but he gets the swashbuckle at the last moment. Of course, we should mention the Rolling Thunder. This is the Thunderbolt facet, so the little corners there will not be that troublesome for Makoto to get through. We've been seeing the double jump more often, though, than this one.
Yeah, I think the mid... Do you ever go Thunderbolt on offlane Pango? I feel like the offlaners will always take double jump because it's just too important for the laning stage. But in mid, it's more of a... I'm not going to say it's 50-50 because it isn't, but it's more viable to go Thunderbolt at least. You don't necessarily need that
nice connection
added
from
benefit.
Dota2. They get the shackle under the tier 1 tower as well. 23 Savage, forced to go the other side. Takes a lot of tower shots. Or to use the purification up in 8 seconds as Panto. If he gets some vision here, will not.
That was actually a really nice play from Panto to start cutting left, assuming that he could get the vision from Toronto Tokyo, but not quite. Had Toronto Tokyo had boots, that would have been a kill. He lost track. Wisdom Shrines will be exchanged. Not really too surprising, as we've already established the playmaking potential of Talon is kind of non-existent for the time being, so you're not really going to invade much.
So really, from the Talon side, you are very reliant on Rolling Thunder, you're reliant on Doom Blink, and I assume that Omni might go Blink as well, although...
Eventually, probably,
with this type of build, is this like a... So it's Radiance into what? Like, do you go... I guess it would be too late to go Echo Saber after that, right? Because I was thinking the upgraded Echo, I'm not remembering the name.
Harpoon?
That's right, Harpoon.
I think he needs BKB this game as well. There's just too much stuff. Repel is nice and all, but you can't rely on it against Riki and against Shadow Shaman with Blink Hex. When you enter a fight, you kind of need to go in with confidence and have... The other thing is also Repel doesn't last very long. It's 5 seconds. Once that runs out, if you don't have BKB, you can't really stand anymore. And the fights for Flipster Talon side, they're not going to win fights quickly, right? They don't have much burst. This is going to be like, over time, you're going to step-by-step take them down. So, BKB would be interesting, or I would argue it's mandatory, but let's see. That doesn't mean he has to get it immediately after Radiance, of course, but he needs it in his build.
He's actually going to get dusted. WS looking for a connection on his Doom, but the smoke screen comes out thanks to Panto with the Shackle, but Makoto has the Rolling Thunder, and now Nightfall in a precarious spot all alone. He saves his Riki, but it cost him his life, and I'm sure he's not happy about that one.
Yeah. Outnumbered.
And that is a Arcane Rune on the Pango, so ult will be up relatively soon.
It's the type of fights that Talon can find. The Pango being involved.
Middle tower is under attack.
And also, it's a little bit of a mix, right? Because the Pango can take these fights very well, but it did seem like it was largely on Aurora's initiative that this even came to be, right? What if they just farm? Are plays even going to happen at all in the game? Jokem. Avalanche toss. Oh, he doesn't have toss skilled. All right, well,
Okay.
then it's no toss.
Yep.
He's just not going to die then. I don't know. I can't help but... Oh, hang on. Shackle.
We got the Shackle onto the Doom as Mira coming to play, although Panto getting really low to Joe Camp. Bedlam is going to finish off the Ringmaster. It'll be a trade of support so far as WS will have to exit. Cuckoo relatively low on HP as well. Of course, we failed to mention the Empower with Riki is also extremely good with the tricks of the trade.
Fortunately, the panel did mention that. And
I don't listen to
of course, listen to everything they say so we don't repeat ourselves or them. Credit where credit's due. Sometimes they say smart things. And we also have Jenkins on the show.
That's right. Mira, you'll be the recipient of the first Doom of the game. Nightfall, Avalanche, and the Swash to finish the job.
Okay, remember, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was talking about how the standard way of putting Lina mid is that you go 4-0-3, right? And I'm like, surely 1 point in LSA has to be good a lot of the time.
You're looking at toss.
I feel the same way about Tiny. It's like this 2-0-3 build, how much does this third point in tree throw do versus the overall, let's call it the opportunity cost or the potential?
Well, why are you looking at tree throw and not
1 point in toss?
Yeah,
just being 2-1-2. Isn't that like 1 point in toss super useful?
Yeah, I would think so.
Like contextually, if you're getting run at, you can toss people away, you can find kills.
We'll have to blink strike to the other side, but they got the dust. Meanwhile, 23 Savage dies on the top lane, but we can see it's a global trade. Position 1 for 2, and the support will die as well in Panto.
Nailed it.
Going really well for Talon so far. For a lineup that doesn't have all the playmaking in the world, they sure are making the plays that they can. Heavily playing around Makoto's Pangolier, of course, as they should be. He's the star of the show here in their lineup. And the way they killed Omni top, they used everything. They used RP, Terrorize, and Bedlam to get that kill onto him. Seeing the replay here. Great execution. Talked about this yesterday when we were watching another Dark Willow game, how Dark Willow really benefits from playing with heroes that have repositioning tools, so you can get people into brambles. And he's playing with 2 of them in this game, Skewer and Toss.
Yeah.
Once that Toss, of course, does get skilled when Nightfall's level 24. Jokum will get out of here.
1 trick brings him down to half HP. My goodness.
It's hard.
Damage rune on Makoto. Swash doing quite a bit for Makoto, and yeah, another easy pick off onto a support. This time it is Mira being the recipient of that. So defusal for Makoto before Kiyotaka gets his, and he's going to take a full Wheel of Wonder into a Swash and into the grave. So Talon keeping up the pressure. 3K net worth lead.
I really love watching this team play when they're firing on all cylinders. It's like, I had my concerns about their lineup and its inability to do specific things, but it doesn't mean they can't do it. It just means it's harder and more specific the ways they need to do it, and everything so far has been super crisp. The heroes they bring to the place, the way they cast their spells, the way they play around each other. It's been really excellent stuff, giving them this 4K advantage. It's a little bit of an asterisk on that with the Doom, but it's only level 2 Devour, so can't really...
Oh, Nightfall spotted under the tier 1 tower. They don't even need to use Doom.
Like, all of their moves are just working.
Yeah,
and Aurora seem a little
crisp.
bit stumped here. They're going to get their Magnus Blink soon on Toronto, Tokyo. Perhaps that can change the game up a little bit, but so far, I have to say, Kiyotaka...
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was going to say, so Kiyotaka is not going to Fusel right away. It is first item Ags. So he will be going the farming route. I mean, that does a lot of damage, obviously, but that is maybe not what we were expecting. I mean, I love Ags on this hero, though, so can't blame him.
I'm not sure it's the correct adjustment for this game, though, is it? Like, if you're being ran at right now by Talon, I don't know if going the farming route on Riki is what's going to solve the problem.
No, it's not just for farming, though. It does a lot against heroes. And he has the facet, of course, that will buff up his tricks.
Why prolong the inevitable?
Panto finally.
I mean, actually, I would agree with this. If you're down right now and you go Diffusal, it's going to be hard to find pickoff still because you're down. Ags, you can help get back in the game.
It's just I'm not so sure that's the case, though. You just got your mag blink, and you see they're smoking, right? So they are looking for a move. So if Aurora do want to do this, then Riki could have a defusal for this fight, because he bought the point booster and has gold left over, right? So he could have, or at least been very, very close to it by now.
Yep, that's true.
So they're kind of playing two slightly different games in that sense, but...
All right, they go through the gate.
Yeah, they want to get WS here if they're going to see him. Toronto, Tokyo will see the camp being farmed, and there we go.
First RP of the game, Bedlam, in addition to the rest of the abilities at Aurora's disposal. So an easy pickoff. Echo Saber now online for Nightfall. But did you say Nightfall was going Blink?
Radiant's
No.
top tower is under attack.
Oh, you said Toronto, Tokyo.
Yeah. Curious to see how fast Riki farms when he has Ags and Power against, like, say, an Ancient stack or whatever.
Insane. This is one of the best farming abilities in the game.
Yeah.
Such a huge power
Right
spike.
now he has Empower, and that's a level 4 Tricks without Ags.
I think the trick is you got to attack the creeps and then tricks, and they don't move.
Oh.
If you tricks first, they run away.
Well, it seems like Kiyotaka did not know that.
Yeah, little nugget for you.
Seems like Kiyotaka might be in trouble here. Oh, this is
Or
not
is it the
great.
opposite? Maybe. Oh, attempting to TP out, but the Rolling Thunder finds him. Last word in addition, and he is going to drop as a result. Big kill for Talon again.
As far as I'm concerned, Mikoto has played a borderline perfect game. Like, it's actually really cool to watch. I mean, a little detail like that, very quick to get out of the smoke screen and get the Rolling Thunder off as fast as possible and find that kill too. All of the moves have been successful. He's been in 9 out of 12 kills.
Is under attack.
All of the 3 cores. Because of this, on Talon looking very hot. And they're going to try to be as suppressive as possible here. Recognizing that, well, if Riki is going Ags, he's not a hero yet. So you're effectively able to put a lot of pressure. 23 Savage will box down.
Oh my goodness.
That hits pretty hard.
Yes, he does. Got that Radiance.
He's going Blink Manta next, so Harpoon was not... It's not in the cards, and then he has BKB queued up as well, so probably just a little bit of a brainstorm quick buy here, not I'm going to buy these exact 3 items in that order kind of deal.
Yeah. Makoto is going to be going for Ags next. I guess one way he can try to counter, I mean, I guess he still has to go BKB at some point, but the Disperser can give him move speed to get out of the smoke screen.
Yep.
But these are very specific interactions. That means another teammate's not nearby for Aurora, so we'll see.
Radiant are scanning.
Nightfall. Being protected by Panto. His body on the line. He will die.
Yeah.
Gets knifed, shanked from behind. Makoto with yet another kill to his name.
Another brain drain.
Yeah, 9 brain drains so far. Not too shabby. Talon definitely in control of this game right now.
It's one of those things where we love talking about this because it's fun to keep track of stacks, but really the reason brain drain matters more so than you would think is not because of Silencer's damage output, it's because of his ability to buy Refresher. It's closely tied. How many items you need leading into Refresher depends on how good your brain drain game is.
That sounds really sexual.
Of course, this hero has changed now that he doesn't have Reverberate, but I think you still buy Refresher, right? Like, what else would you get?
Yeah.
Still has to be the item for him.
All right, so 18-minute Ags for Kiyotaka. Not the best timing. And right now, he's bottom net worth of the cores. Let's see how much that changes in the next few minutes. Swashbuckle, Makoto. Yeah, another brain drain.
Did he just one-shot a creep wave with Ags and Power? Did I see that right?
I'm telling you, this thing's...
Oh,
the Wheel of Wonder
screwed.
was waiting for him, though. And the dust will ensure another death for Kiyotaka.
Such a good setup. They anticipated he would go for a secondary wave after he went for the previous one with Tricks, and really good execution there from Joachim with the... During Tricks of the Trade, just throws out the wheel, charges up the whip, and as soon as it ends, they combine into a beautiful kill and a Roche. This is something... Talon's lineup isn't the fastest at taking objectives, but they're decent against Roche, because they have Lucky Shot, Omni Knight's pure damage, Works quite well.
Yep, so this will be a freebie for Talon.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
As they continue to dominate this game number one. We cast them yesterday, and 23 Savage, after that first game performance going 0-9 on Terribly, took a shower. Because first game of the day, you know, got to get those eye crispies out, Cinderin, as we talked about. But this time around, looks like he took a shower beforehand. As a global silence to try to save the Rasta.
Nope. He's in the enemy team.
That's right. Kills the Rasta. I'll terrorize onto 2 heroes. Makoto, though, does get off his ult. There's a nice Yule's dodging a bit, but the defusal is going to keep him in place, and that is going to be another easy pick-off for Talon. But 23 Savage.
Yeah, didn't come for free.
Huh.
They got him RP skewered into an Avatos. After he got that kill on Shadow Shaman bottom, he was completely alone, and Aurora tried to take advantage of that.
That was after the global silence, I assume?
Yeah. The global was
is
used
opening.
because Omni got shackled, and while he was next to a Serpent Ward, and I think they, on Talon's side, assumed that was a kill attempt, but it was actually just the Shadow Shaman, so Omni would have been fine alone. Nice grab here for Aurora.
Shard will go to Mira, so Cursed Crown.
He just skilled Bedlam duration though, so he needs level 11 before this does anything.
Yep, that's unfortunate.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, 1 Trix will take out a full wave, even without Empower.
It's quite nice, actually.
Just makes it faster.
Yeah, the reason I think it looked like with Empower that he almost literally one-shot the wave with like one swipe, if you will.
They missed the dust.
Yeah. Will they try another one?
Goes
Oh, they
Sentry.
got him.
Well, he's outside the sentry
They
now.
have another dust.
Oh, Tricks to the other side.
Structures are fortified.
Gets whipped. Another knife. Wheel of Wonder. Oh, he actually does not hit it. Wow, that was close.
Threw it behind him.
Kiyotaka looking in the
Space.
correct direction.
That's some
Because
serious
he
space.
TP'd to base, so he looks in that direction.
Yep. Correct.
It was actually not a choice.
It was very obvious. I'm not sure if that was possible for Jokem to hit that wheel in time, but... All right.
Dire are scanning.
In spite of this amazing early game from Aurora, only 2k up. This is very recoverable for
Oh, yeah.
the side of Aurora. Talon.
Oh, Makoto. The big old Serpent Ward with the Bedlam. The 2 supports are going to get the Aegis.
Yeah, now they need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, they will both TP.
Just TP lol, this no stuns. Oh, there would have been a whip if he was in range. And an Infernal Blade. Oh. Careful what you wish
Take a
for.
while.
Yeah. This is worth a lot, though.
Yeah. That's, how much is it? Like 200?
It's more than that. I think it's like 300 maybe. 255.
255.
I was closer.
Yeah, by 5. Good job.
Dire's top
You win.
tower is under attack.
Do they always give the same amount, though? Serpent Wards, I think they have a range. So,
Yeah, you would know the answer to that question. Looking at your
WS?
spreadsheets every night.
yeah, that's right. That's what I do.
Oh, the dust does clip him just barely. Kiyotaka, but the tricks of the trade to the other side. Gets the smoke screen off, but we can see he is all at what? TP? No, whip. Good attempt.
Ambitious.
Why prolong
I mean, that's another thing with the Ags that gives him some ability to get away is the cast range increase. I mean, this Ags does so much for this hero. Unfortunately for Kiyotaka, he is 0 and 6. As much as we want to try to hype up the...
Yeah, this Axe is pretty powerful on the 061 mid laner. Having great impact with it so far.
It happens.
Makoto on the chase here. Is he going to swash? No.
Good news for Aurora is the death timer is still pretty low.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
that's a silver lining.
And the other
I
piece
do
of-
feel at some point you do buy Shard on this here if you don't get it from the Tormentor. It is way too good.
Yeah.
We'll be going to Diffusal next, and then the pickoff potential is there. But, I mean, imagine if he hadn't died the last 2 times since he bought the Ags.
Yeah.
It would have made up a lot of difference, but in hindsight now, you're like, you might as well have gone Diffusal then, I guess. Maybe get more kills. I don't know. But he's not looking for kills. He's looking to farm.
I mean, again, it really depends what the mindset was of the team, because if their mindset was that they're not going to look to fight and just farm, then the Axe is absolutely the better choice. It just looked like the moment he committed to Axe, they were actually looking to fight, which looked a little bit disconnected, but yeah. Either way, they bridged the gap. They're in the mid game now. They now have his defusal, and they immediately smoke up with this. Want to take advantage of that. The Magnus BKB and the tiny Sanjin Yasha, or excuse me, BKB as well. So 2 BKBs arriving now.
They're going to find the connection onto the Doom. Joe coming in the meantime, being gone on by Kiyotaka. That should be a freebie, but no, the Atos actually keeps him in place. Tricks of the Trade does finish the job, though, as WS super fast right now.
Super dead.
And the TP is canceled. They want to give this to Kiyotaka if they can. And he will take it. A much-needed double kill for him.
And finally, a top tier 1 tower. Yeah. Might be open now, 25 minutes in. This is usually the tower you take first as Radiant, but it will be the last this time. Nightfall and Panto.
And with these last kills and now the tower, the Riki basically same net worth as the Doom. As we're going to see in the RP from Toronto Tokyo onto 23 Savage. He has some TPs coming in, but they're too late. They've lost their carry already. Makoto, Rolling Thunder. By some pressure. Oh, he actually gets stuck in the corner despite having this fast. And meanwhile, the Silence are getting backstabbed by Kiyotaka. Finds another kill for him. Out of mana, though. Smoke screen is off. Atos inside. Now the Wheel of Wonder. They have the damage to finish him. Absolutely. Aghanim Scepter Makoto really takes this hero to another level.
In the meantime, though, real estate being claimed. Gonna drop the Serpent Ward as well. This is full tier 2 tower for Aurora. The rotations that Talon made prevent them from being able to defend up here as well. Just pressure on all fronts.
Yeah, and now net worth-wise, it is even. And Nightfall is on top of the world.
Yep. Starting on a Shadow Blade.
It has his full S&Y being delivered. So, ridiculous amount of status resist.
Yeah.
Very good against Doom, very good against Global.
They're not killing us.
Oh, he has the BKB anyway for the Global.
There's no way to see his how much status specifically he's getting from Insurmountable, is there?
It doesn't just show on there?
No. Because he had, I checked, he had like 13.6% before he got Sanjin Yasha, but obviously the math gets complicated because of the way these stack right now. You can see his total status is 28. I was just curious how much is going to be accounted for from Insurmountable down the stretch when he levels up further. But for the time being, it's about 16%, which is solid. Putting him up to that grand total of almost 30 now.
Radiant are scared.
With S&Y. So if you think about, if you were around when Nightstalker had the level 15 talent with 35% status resist and you were like, wow, nothing lasts for any time on this hero, that's roughly where Nightfall's at right now. Yeah.
Oh my god!
There was a
wow
Willow there.
That was kind of absurd.
1,000 damage combo from Makoto.
Jesus. Okay then. And let's get that on camera again. Boom.
At least it was. At least he didn't feel pain.
I think he felt a little.
For 0.1 second. Panto. Getting found out. Yeah.
Should be another support kill for Talon. Gotta be one of the more annoying innates to deal with.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, Kiyotaka. WS looking for the Doom. He gets it. And 23 Savage here as well. That is a dead Riki. Death number 8.
Precious bounty.
Man, oh man. They have been on top of him all game.
Yeah, the good news is they have 0 deaths on Magnus.
The thing is, though, like, the separation in farm for 8 deaths is not there at all.
It's rather minuscule, yeah.
That is kind of crazy.
He has 230 CS. That'll help quite a bit. Makoto 10, 0, and 6. And also has 220 CS. only accounts for a 2.5k lead over the Riki, which is kind of crazy indeed. I suppose a lot of Mikoto's kills have been on supports that aren't exactly worth a lot. But would indeed think there would be a bit more separation than this.
Toronto Tokyo is finishing Aghanim Scepter, I believe. Or did I see that wrong?
You saw that
Dire's
right.
bottom tower is under
So
Time
attack.
for
Horn
time to go fishing.
Mm.
Hiding it in the tree line here. Does not want to let Aurora know.
Let's
Or
see how
excuse me,
much he
Talon
learned
know.
from Collapse on this Days in Spirit. The old classic. Of course, Horn Toss a little bit. It used to be a shard.
That was so insane. That's the best shard there's ever been.
Yeah, perhaps, and we're going to see it. Horn Toss, but the global silence to follow, and even Wheel of Wonder used. A couple of BKBs as well as Kiyotaka jumping in on top of WS. Like 23 Savage wanted to fight, but able to get sidestepped there as, again, the Rolling Thunder stuck here. As Toronto Tokyo already used RP there. 23 Savage focusing on the supports for now, but Nightfall and Kiyotaka teaming up against 23 Savage. He's all alone. Teammates are nowhere near him. That is a dead position one for Talon as Mikoto gets to the high ground.
Oh.
But the shard, he's actually just going to TP out.
Roshan was trying his best to help Nightfall, throwing him in the right direction.
Yep,
But
good effort. Now they can go for the old Roche. This almost certainly will go on to Nightfall. Just a weird fight where 23 Savage ended up getting isolated somehow.
well, he had to go in and use GA to try to save the Pango. I think that's what compromised his position, and he did get Mikoto out of there.
Oh,
I was
Riki
going to say,
did.
I would like
Huh.
to see the ages on the Riki. I think Tiny is too difficult of a kill to really be that big of an issue, but Kiyotaka has proven 8 times this game that he's not as tough of a kill.
Well, he's also proven it doesn't matter. If he dies 8 times, he's still going to be relatively high net worth. So
What you want to avoid now is that Kiyotaka gets caught off alone and just dies twice for nothing.
Well, the
if he
other
dies
thing
in a
is-
fight, that's fine.
this means they're not going for buildings then? This hero is completely worthless at that. And Tiny's
Yeah,
the one that's frontlining.
It either means that or that if they were to try to hit high ground, that they're confident they can play around Nightfall's 4,000 HP plus status resist, and that Riki can just get in there immediately as a counterplay. But I don't think Aurora are just going to go straight high ground or anything with this. They're going to look to play the map and look for fights.
Yeah,
Now with the
Panto
shard
with
on.
the shard. So Kiyotaka did
Small.
buy his shard, so that wasn't in contention here.
Yeah.
Actually, wouldn't have been anyway because Magnus is next down on net worth. So yeah, smoke screen. You cannot help your teammates now. So that means no glimmers, no force staffs, nothing of the like. No box. That's a big one. As
Oh, this was exactly what needed to not happen.
yeah,
But
he has BKB now. Will attempt to run away, but you can see his teammates not super
got him.
close, but at the same time, Talon won't pursue any further. Do force out that fresh BKB.
And everybody, when you talk about Riki's shard, people always focus on the inability to save allies, which is absolutely the biggest part of it, but it's also -5 armor. And it makes a decent difference to apply -5 armor. You know, both the Tiny as well, in particular, the Tiny takes massive advantage of that percentage reduction, but yourself too. It adds up.
And now he's just one-shotting neutrals.
Yep.
Looks like Nullifier for the box, for Shield Crash, for Repel? Dispellable?
We had this conversation yesterday, right?
Amazing what you'll
It
find
is
laying around.
It says dispellable, yes.
Oh,
but
right, half of it.
But I'm not sure if the entirety of it is dispellable or just the strength and HP regen.
Right.
Or if you can also dispel the debuff immunity. Haven't really seen much Omni Knight in the last
I feel like
months.
debuff immunity in general, not dispel. I mean, the very original Repel was definitely dispellable, right?
Yeah.
Like way back. Along with Guardian Age. It was like a 2-for-1 special.
We'll defer to the panel for this.
We use a diffusal blade from back in the day.
You can 100% dispel GA. It's just Repel that I'm unsure about in the current format. In the old, what was it called? Heavenly Grace was dispellable as well, right? I think.
Yeah. Should have been. The problem is they're going to answer our question and we're not going to listen. So
Yeah.
we'll keep asking this question.
Well, it's good
Yeah.
for the audience. They might listen.
No, don't think so.
WS.
Yep, horn toss. Welcome to the party. Into the shackle with the global silence.
Okay.
Try to get him out of dodge. He's going to use the BKB as well. Kiyotaka continue to pursue. Will blink strike. Tricks of the trade not going to do too much. Continuing to pursue. Wants to use his Aegis. 1:40 seconds left on it. But Talon have, for the most part, exited. But Cuckoo might get spotted here in just a moment. He is untargetable now, but he does have the Ghost Scepter to get away. I say that, but now the Avalanche to cancel.
I can definitely tell that Kiyotaka has Aegis.
Yeah. Well, can you? I feel like he plays like this normally anyway. Gonna jump on top of another ethereal target, forcing out the second Ghost Scepter in this fight. He's gonna pop the BKB. Mira missing the brambles though. And another, okay, Toronto Tokyo skewering the enemy away, but they'll have enough damage regardless as WS takes a tumble. I don't know how he got on this cliff here, but Panto will help set up potentially another kill. Nightfall with the toss. Goodbye, Ringmaster.
This is a really good play from Kiyotaka, you know. Just super confident with this Aegis that he can do what he's doing. And we talked about this earlier on in the game, how the Riki plays off of stuns very well, but also plays really well as a scout for heroes like Magnus and Tiny, and we've seen it multiple times now that he's just running ahead of the pack as a mobile ward. He finds a good hero, he smoke screens them, and then Magnus can just horn toss.
Yeah.
And you get an easy pick. Actually gonna TP top here to take the secondary Wisdom Shrine. We'll leave his team behind.
How good are his 25s?
Tricks of the Trade applies the basic Dispel is
So
not
yeah,
that great
it's
here, I
usually
guess.
if they have, I mean, they do have Atos, but he has BKB already, so.
You can't cast it when you root it, right?
Huh? Is that what it says?
No, but it says it applies a basic Dispel, but that's under the condition you can cast it, right?
It says can be cast when rooted or leashed.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah, when you hit all.
Oh, there you go. I see. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's
against specific matchups, very, very good.
I can't remember the last time I've seen a 25 Riki. That's why this didn't even occur to me.
Horn toss, initiation on WS. Bramble's going to block off a lot of the other members of the team.
Big
Wheel of
damage.
Wonder, but the RP to follow. They have the damage. They take out another. Actually, the box saves the Doom. That last right click looked like it connected from the Tiny. Now, Toronto Tokyo will be suffering the consequences. He's the first to fall. As Nightfall having a 1v1 battle with 23 Savage will, well, that's a baby Nightfall away. Didn't have the BKB up. As Mira will follow suit to the grave. So double kill for Makoto as Panto taken out as Kiyotaka still alive, no longer has Aegis, wants to go for Jokum. Doesn't have the Nullifier up quite yet. Tricks of the Trade's gonna miss. Now he's in a bit of trouble. Stuck inside. Shield crash is there. Another huge kill for Talon. They lose one hero. And that was not Doom.
The #1 difference between this fight and the previous one was that Riki was not there from the beginning this time. So he is not the one giving information. They find the skewer play, but the problem is while he is connecting, the Doom has already gone out on the Tiny and Nightfall is hesitant to fight back. I wonder if he could have just stood his ground. Like, he's such a difficult kill for them even when he's doomed that maybe he could have just popped his BKB and smacked away at them and forced them out. But he ended up turning Talon running out while Riki was connecting. And then as Riki gets there, the fight, it just became fragmented and a little bit disorganized. But for Talon, they take advantage of the man advantage in that exchange to start.
Throughout all of this, by the way, just realizing Makoto's 13-0.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's been having a great tournament so far. Can't really put a finger on his play in this game.
You can't put a finger on his play.
Yeah.
That doesn't...
Isn't that a saying?
No. Well, it is, but not in that context.
Oh.
Can't put a finger on it. It's like, oh, I'm trying to find a mistake. Can't put a finger on what's happening here.
Yeah. I'm saying I can't put a finger on his play means I can't find a mistake in his play.
That's not... You can't use it like that. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I believe I can.
If I can say Abaddon, then you can say anything you want.
That's right.
So the lead down to 6K for Aurora. Talon showing some signs of life now. Kiyotaka level 24.
Who was it that just purchased Gem?
No, Kiyotaka has it, so.
Oh, so they just put it on the Riki. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to Wheel of Wonder him. Do they have the damage to get through? He actually does not look into the eyes of the clown, but Kiyotaka still falls. 23 Savage is ripping him a new one.
He's down for 90, and there's a gem on the ground. Well, guess what?
Okay, they do pick it up. Nobody noticed for a while. Yeah, 80 seconds of no Riki. And this game is now even.
Yep.
If not in favor of Talon, because if Roche spawns...
It will. If they keep checking it, they'll get this. I don't think Aurora are at all interested in fighting without the Riki. I think it's way too risky.
Oh, interesting. We're going to see an Aghanims on Silencer soon. Very cool. So Global Silence applies Arcane Curse.
Is that?
I was... Usually you see Refresher.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this. It's like, they're still going to have Dispels. It's really good when it sticks, because you just get... You slow the entire enemy team, right? But... I don't know. I personally would have liked the Refresher better. I think their lineup benefits so much from having those 2 staggered globals to prevent RPs, to prevent Willow from getting her combos off, so that they can just run heroes down. But maybe this Ags will be better than I expect. All right, into Roche's pit we go. And yeah, 20 seconds before Riki would be able to connect should be enough. They will smoke, actually, on Aurora, but they're going to be too late to the party if they even start moving over there now. Talon will get themselves all the nummies. See who gets what. Mikoto not taking the Aegis in spite of being 13-0. He will get the cheese.
Well, why would he? He hasn't died. Oh, Horn Toss onto 23 Savage into the smoke screen. There is a global.
Yeah, good thing he has the Aegis.
And 23 walks away anyway. That's a big ult down. And Toronto Tokyo, another 18 seconds till the Horn Toss is back up. Can go fishing again. He has a Refresher.
Yeah, he needs to be a little bit careful with his mana management.
Nightfall.
2 RPs cost 950. He has 1300. Can't
Nightfall has the 2 tosses now on the level 25.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Big ward. Somebody's got to deal with that.
Yep, they sure do. They're going to pop the fortification. 23 Savage will repel in order to take this out.
There it goes.
We'll get it successfully, but now another Horn Toss onto 23 Savage. This is going to be life number 1 for sure. Down goes the Wheel of Wonder. No connections, though. Kiyotaka with a BKB. There's the RP onto the Rolling Thunder Makoto. Will he finally die in this game? Doesn't look like it. Pops a Refresher. He's going to be Magic Immune for the next year. Kiyotaka now on the run. Don't think they have the vision right here. You can see attempted TP out for Magnus. Gets away.
He's dead.
Oh, he's doomed right now. And looks like Mira will also follow him to the fountain. So 2 kills in favor of Talon.
I feel like they could have actually killed the Pango there. He got the RP on him during the Rolling Thunder, and Tiny was able to attack him. Of course, Tiny's attack range is high enough that even as a melee hero, you can just keep hitting him.
Yeah.
And then he refreshed, but never used the second RP. He refreshed, he ran out, then he got doomed, and then that was it. And I think he had enough mana for the entire thing again. Maybe he didn't want to commit it because he was worried that 23 Savage was going to be able to save the Pango, but I'm actually not sure that was the case. I think that would... If I'm Aurora, I would drop 2 RPs in a heartbeat to kill Pango. I think it's easily worth it.
Yeah.
He is such a big part of the team fight from the side of Talon, but they did not seem to believe they could kill him in that situation.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There it is.
He does take
trait
the dispel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what can he break out of? He can break out of Atos,
Tower is under attack.
and that's it.
Oh, there's a global. Is this just for the Rasta?
Maybe they thought he had backup. Not the case.
Okay. Well, we've seen Aurora definitely try to take advantage of the global being down.
Oh, actually about Global, one thing. I don't know when it deals damage the first time. If it's on cast, or if it's after a second. Because if it's on cast, this is actually really good against Magnus.
Ah.
Right? Whenever you initiate on anybody, you just instantly global, and then Mag can't blink.
Right.
Because you get curse on him.
Interesting.
It has initial damage, right? So I'm assuming if it follows the same rules for global, then it should instantly cancel every blink in the game. That makes me like it a lot more, specifically against Mag. I think that's kind of a cool idea. They also have, I mean, they have 3 blinks, right? 4 blinks, as a matter of fact. Everybody in their team has blink except Riki. So I'm a lot more on board with it with that angle. The refresher still definitely has its merit, but, you know, he might get there too. Might just get both. Then it's crazy. When Silencer has Axe Refresh, this hero is nutty.
Yep, then it becomes a turbo game.
Yep.
Shiva's now there for WS. He is very tanky now.
Yeah. 50 armor, casual.
Easy peasy.
75% physical resist. Giving him an EHP of over 10,000.
And Kiyotaka is going to be finishing the Disperser soon. So another Dispel. Oh, he's spotted by the Spotlight. Wheel of Wonder. Atos is there. He's going to have to pop the BKB.
He doesn't have TP.
Yeah, how many times have we seen this? He is all alone. Just a matter of time. And he certainly does not have buyback. So easy kill in the end for Talon.
Space for what?
Yeah, that's the question. That is death number 11. Whew.
Yeah. I'll say a lot of his deaths have been good. To me, that one wasn't really. There was no real benefit, except I guess giving some time, but the death timer now is starting to be severe enough that you can push when you kill this Riki. They will start going down mid, but not looking to commit very much inside of Talon. All right, they will think twice. They were looking to go top a little bit, but they're back. Back to business. Omni Knight.
Yep, they have a full minute to work with here.
23 Savage is starting to hit pretty hard and fast too on this carry Omni Knight. He has the Bloodthorn now for attack speed, and of course the silence goes without saying, but mainly against buildings that will help. And the Aurora, or excuse me, the Talon special. Place the banner and don't defend it. Just let it do its thing.
Oh, horn toss. Ringmaster brought back into... Oh, was he actually going to RP? He's faking RP. They don't need anything. They double toss. They're just having fun with the clown at this rate. Jokam somehow still alive.
Tanky clown. Well, he had a gem though.
Oh yeah, you're right. Makoto looking for Panto. Global again for the Rasta. They know that they're mostly in their base.
That 25 Talon on Omni has to do insane amounts of damage. 75% Hammer of Purity bonus base damage. His base damage currently is 204. So this is 150 pure.
Yep.
Every hammer. He just gets extra.
Not too bad.
Nasty stuff.
Big power spike for 23 Savage.
Working on Overwhelming Blink next, and then into the Refresher. Fishing.
Cuckoo.
For Cuckoo.
He gets tossed up.
Not gonna get him.
He's fine. He uses the... I don't know the name of this. Outworld staff, of course. Definitely good against the tricks of the trade as well, especially if you get nullified. Well, that depends on... I assume that...
This should not be breakable.
Yeah.
Because Astral isn't, right?
Yeah, it does have OD's stamp on it, so you would think.
I say breakable, I of course mean purgeable.
Yes. Well, it's not a purge. Dispellable.
Ah.
Purge doesn't mean that anymore. So he just reads patch notes. All right, bit of a stalemate as we wait for the next Roche to spawn.
What's Nightfall gonna do next?
How's he gonna... Forces out the Outworld staff. He's gonna use his BKB to get away from Makoto. With that rolling thunder, he's super fast. Mira not gonna get hit by the swashbuckler. That might have been a kill actually if they hit that.
Sorry. Kiritaka's just built different.
Yeah, he has no fear.
It would be interesting to study how he thinks about things.
Why prolong the inevitable? Why prolong the inevitable?
What's the inevitable exactly?
A long game.
That's true. Seems inevitable.
All right, it's been a good one though.
How are you gonna progress now as Tiny? You have so much net worth. You're 35k in. He has no Moon Shard. I guess he'll buy that first.
I fall. Going Falling off the cliff blind here. Toronto Tokyo going fishing. Makoto, half HP. The RP finally finds him. Box gets RP'd inside the box. Do they have the damage? Terrorized to follow. He's still alive. They finally get him. My goodness, has taken all game. 23 Savage in the meantime will also follow him. So 2 dead for Talon, and it's a big 2. In the meantime, though, Nightfall does lose his life, but Kiyotaka and company going to be going on top of WS, but looks like the Magnus is the one to fall instead. Joe Camp on the other side of the trees will actually use Wheel of Wonder in retreat. They don't give a shit about him, though. They want this Doom instead. Buyback from the Omni Knight. This is where you have to question if Aurora will stay or not. 23 Savage already here. We'll be able to take out the Rasta easily. WS, you know that Kiyotaka cannot go in any further, surely, with this much HP. He has no fear, though. Double kill for 23 Savage after the buyback, and Kiyotaka... How did he die? To the knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he died to the knife. Well, I mean, there was nothing else that Ringmaster could have damaged him with, right?
Blood
Crazy
grenade.
Fight, so probably doesn't have any of those anymore. Wow, that was an insane fight. And they finally get the 2 RPs off on the Pango, but the box delayed the death by just enough to...
Yeah, they need to get that nullifier pre-applied.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's a lot going on in these fights. Between that, roll up, repel, BKBs.
How much was that? Garbage. How much was that kill worth?
Oh, good
Scroll
question.
up.
Let's see.
It was the first kill, I think, right?
Yeah, so Nightfall got 1,200 for the kill. Yeah, he was worth about 2.2k.
Ooh.
Not one hero.
My God.
End up paying a lot for it, though. Now they might even pay some...
Yeah, how many buybacks is this going to require?
Probably 0. I think it's better to lose the lane, if necessary. But you also got to be careful as 23 here.
Yeah, they're going to have 2 up, and that's including Magnus.
That'll only get the tower.
Yeah, they will back away. Now a refresher for 23 Savage. This is a backpack item.
Yeah. Might as well buy it now. Used his buyback already. To the pit we go. Interesting repel cast. Now he won't have it if there's a fight. He used repel to hit Roche. So a 30-second cooldown.
It out. Nightfall will throw his tree. That's going to be down for 10 seconds. It's going to be pretty big in this fight. As the Rolling Thunder, they're going to be able to take out Rasta right off the bat. Terrorize on the 23 Savage and Doom, but not going to have too much of an impact. WS will continue the pressure. Dark Willow will fall. That's a buyback onto the Shadow Shaman, though. Actually, Mira lived. They did not. Yeah, the buyback scaring them a bit. 23 Savage getting in really deep. Nullifier applied to him. There's the RP, but the BKB was already cast. And that is 1 RP down as Mira, still super low, will finally drop. Instant buyback for him, Kiyotaka, in a 1 versus 3. And they're going to lose their Magnus, who buys back now. Kiyotaka will follow him. Has to buy back as well. Everything onto Nightfall, though. Double kill for 23 Savage. This is 4 buybacks for Aurora.
They still have
to get more here. They absolutely have to get more. The Silencer, at the very least, will likely fall. Another Rolling Thunder from Makoto. They do get the Silencer. Rasta looks to be dead again. 23 Savage looks to finish the job. He'll get him. That's a dieback now for the Rastas. Nightfall with the toss-up onto 23 Savage. Nullifiers there. RP to follow. They have the damage. They killed both of them. Double kill for Nightfall. The 2 most important cores for Talon. And now the supports will drop as well. So Aurora gonna have to force out more buybacks here. 23 Savage has no way back in the game. Remember, he used his buyback a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they know 23 doesn't have his, and they know they push stupid fast with this Empower Tiny. Hitting for 800 per swing. They'll take the safe route of going Roche first. This is a quick kill. This only takes him like 20 seconds, so they'll still have ample time to go for the objectives.
Nightfall with the Aegis. He has Divine as well. Will backpack the S&Y.
All right, now he hits for 1,100.
Yeah, they will have to buy back here, and the question is, can they defend? Because they can just go straight throne after this tower. Fortification is up. They will use it right away. I'm pretty sure you ignore the melee here and go straight throne. We'll see if that's what they want to do. Yes, Nightfall going in very deep for the tier 4. Buyback onto the Ringmaster. Okay, they will go for the barracks, but this is going to refresh the fortification. Nightfall playing a little bit safe. Rest of his team shadowing him from below. This is now a 4 versus 4, not including the Aegis. 23 Savage still down. 45 seconds of no carry Omni. Second lane looks to be given up for free. Although they smoke. Rolling Thunder's coming. Fortification popped. Nightfall gonna ignore the Wheel of Wonder. Taking a decent amount of damage. He's at half HP, but Makoto not gonna be able to finish the job. Just trying to delay for this Omni Knight, but Toronto Tokyo beautifully timed Horn Ties, but the global silence to follow. Makoto very tanky, will get boxed. And now the kiting onto Tiny begins. Nightfall, life number 1 is gonna pop here. And now this is where he truly has to be careful. 12 seconds on the Omni. Nullifier applied to the Silencer. Uses his global silence. Able to get into the fountain, though. Even an E-Blade to keep him alive. Melee Rax is down. Second global silence is there. And Kiyotaka with the instant Lotus applied to him. It will likely cost Mira his life, but well worth it. So they retain their base in partial. They lose the melee bottom.
I think Kuku survived because of Outworld Staff.
There are no buybacks here.
I think Riki was going to get him there, but the Outworld Staff bought him enough time. And
Yeah,
he
what an
dodged
item.
1 or 2 swings there.
What an
Mira
item.
frustrated with getting globaled on his way out. And a great hold. I thought that was going to backfire. That they went for the Pango roll with 35 seconds respawn timer on Omni instead of waiting for Aurora to go for the tier 4s or top lane.
Look at these buyback situations. Everyone but Silencer is on a timer.
Yeah. Talon are going for the killing blow. They do have Refresher ready on Doom. However, there's 2 RPs.
Yeah.
And Toronto Tokyo with the Lincolns will be a tough target to Doom. Doom himself cannot break this Lincolns. He doesn't have anything for it.
Daedalus picked up by Kiyotaka. He is going to be hitting super hard here. They get the Empowers pre-cast.
This is such a hard push. They might not even try.
Yeah, a minute left on Dark. Willow.
Yeah, they're not going to try.
56-minute game, and it's anybody's game.
Yep. Gaben agrees.
Yeah, I would... This is as close to a 50-50 as you're going to get at 56 minutes. And Riki even has a Refresher Shard, so the double BKB, double Nullifier.
Double Giant Maul.
Hell yeah. I've been underwhelmed by that neutral, personally.
This is a pretty good level 29 talent he gets here.
Which one?
Blink Strike replenish time.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a case to be made that that is the better talent of the 2, but he went for the backstab multiplier, of course, the higher overall damage output for the burst, but in some games, I think getting those charges a lot more frequently can be really powerful. Now he doesn't have to worry about it. He has both. Starting to collect
This is where he
big
can't
Lotus.
die, Cinderin. The
Yeah.
14th death. You get me 13 times, but the 14th, that's when the game ends.
Fool me once.
RP lasts 0.8 seconds longer now for that 25 talent.
Feels like both teams should be really timid here.
Yeah, I think both teams would be happy just to wait for the buybacks, but the thing is, you have Divine on Tiny. I feel like if you die, game probably ends anyway.
This is a really, really big talent that Joachim just picked up, though. One of the best in the game, in my opinion.
Which one?
Escape Act grants strong dispel and flying. So if somebody gets RP'd now, he can immediately get them out of it, give them flying movement, and he can do it twice because he has the scepter. But, of course, it comes with the asterisk of the nullifier. But even if the nullifier is pre-applied, he will still get the strong dispel because he will cast it and it will get insta-purged, but it will already have done its job of removing the stun. So this actually makes his box extremely valuable in every situation now.
And how often do you play against a Ringmaster that's 25?
Yeah.
They might not be...
This genuinely might catch Aurora completely off guard. And we know these late-game chaotic team fights, something, you know, you have your frame of reference, you've been here before, you know how certain things work. There's always going to be something you didn't account for. Because the complexity just gets overwhelming. Everybody has 6 different items you need to keep track of. There's all the cooldowns.
Yeah,
who used Refresher, who has buyback.
And this is with an Aghanim Scepter on the Ringmaster, so 2 charges to the box.
Yeah. Anyone could have told you that.
Pretty sick.
30 seconds ago.
Pretty sick, bro.
It's good. Bruv.
Bro.
It's like okay. I'm mainly talking to the audience anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, when I'm making jokes to you, you laugh, but I'm not even talking to you.
Yeah, true. It's just it's like watching a comedian just ruin their life on TV, just fall apart at every seam. 59 minutes. We are 1 minute away from seeing Helm of the Undying.
That's right.
And I believe teams have learned the Necronomicon, Book of the Dead, not as powerful as you might think.
Helm of the
anymore.
Undying must be very good against the Radiant lineup.
Yes.
If you think about how their team fights function, it's about bursting heroes during this RP, during the tiny BKB. They give them 5 seconds when they come out and they get to cast all their spells. I can't help but think it's a better item for Talon here than it is for Aurora.
Yeah, you could argue that.
Because Talon, it's about when you get into the fights and you get them going, you're playing the longer fights better, I think. For Aurora, they need to find the big kills during big stuns. If fights just keep extending, Pango eventually will whittle people down. So will the Carry Omni. So will the Doom. Level 30 on him, by the way. Doom is insane. It applies every mechanic in the game.
Well, not slow.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, it breaks and mutes
And silences.
and prevents healing.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, the break this game, does that, I guess it breaks Riki ult.
Yeah, the break sure isn't good.
It doesn't work against Tiny ult, though.
It,
Right,
bre
that's
it
not
breaks
break.
foul play. And he will definitely doom the Shadow Shaman.
Definitely.
And that would even matter if he did.
Definitely. All right, Audacious Divine Regalia on 2. Regalia? Regalia?
Regalia.
Regalia sounds cooler. Sounds more British that way.
Oh my god, he almost...
Jeez. All right, so Nightfall has the combo of Divine Rapier, Divine Regalia. Kiyotaka with the same. So 20% extra damage. If you die, I mean, this is all in for Nightfall especially. You have Divine Rapier and I mean, if you die, you lose 2 things. 2 gigantic things.
Nightfall's attack
right.
speed is ridiculous.
Toronto, Tokyo did take Book of the Dead, so hasn't gotten the memo yet.
Nope. So Nightfall, he has AC for attack speed. He has eaten a Moon Shard, and he has 100 attack speed neutral item.
Yeah, just needs to go Ags now. Really important.
Yeah, that would be pointless, I think. What's he buying? He has the Hyperstone queued up. Now he's going Lincolns. Okay, doesn't want to get doomed. Understandable.
There's the first Helm of the Undying. It's on a support, though, so not as exciting.
It's
But
good for
basically,
Kuko to have it, though. It guarantees global.
It guarantees it.
It guarantees 2 globals,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. More or less. Unless he gets chain stunned when he's a Wraith.
You never know. Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of favoring Talon right now.
I do like
with
them
the
better
Divine
as
well,
well.
though. Their Divine Regalia, that is.
They have 2 Books of the Dead, though, which is a big mistake, of course.
Yeah, huge mistake. Spider legs on Makoto. That is... So if you use it while rolling Thundering, how does it work? You don't hit the wall, right? I think I remember this.
Oh,
from the
that's a
old
good
days.
question.
So it actually could screw with you. Unless this was changed.
I have not seen this interaction, I think, with
We'll
the new
see.
Spider Legs.
But the fact that he can turn around so easily with the facet, maybe it's not as important as Kiyotaka. Uh-oh. 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 Spaghetti-O. He gets doomed. And he's dead. Does he have buyback? Yes. But they're certainly going to force it. Another... Well, that's 14. 14 deaths for Mr. Riki.
Oh my god, his Divine Regalia broke from that.
Oh, you're right. Oh my goodness. That is
so he has no tier 5
unforgivable.
item now. For
That is-
7 minutes.
Oh. That is bad.
Even before I looked at that, I was going to make the point that is it even worth it at this point to farm like this in
No,
general?
I
Like as a
don't.
concept, does it make sense to ever split anymore?
No, because you have the tier 5s as well already on
Like,
all your
what
heroes.
item are you getting? You could have got this Octarine perhaps, but risk reward of separating from your team
No.
at all,
That was
60
bad.
minutes in, I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, well, he's going to be feeling it. That neutral is useless. Toronto, Tokyo, Horn tosses the air. Just looking for a blind fishing.
He skewered back every ant in the area.
They were destroyed.
Yeah.
All right, so now they don't have a neutral in the disgraced Regalia. and they don't have a neutral in Book of the Dead. So the other 2 Books of the Dead actually cancel it out. So altogether, it's
3
even.
versus 3.
Yeah.
Roche time. Should
Now,
be
having
easy.
said that, Book of the Dead against Riki, you know, you're always going to have vision. So that's
Yeah.
something.
I mean, it's by all means definitely not a useless item. It's just not as dumb as before for pushing.
It's not for pushing. Toronto Tokyo, not able to find the connection again. Roshan, I mean, you kind of have to give this up unless you want to buy back on the Riki.
Giving the Aegis over to 23.
Yeah, they get it. Oh, they actually put down the Serpent Ward. Mira being chased by Makoto. And with that stun, should be enough. Global silence to follow just to make sure that nobody can save this Dark Willow. Staying alive, though, for a little bit longer, and even more so with his neutral, the Helm of the Undying, but he will tick out eventually. So they do get Roche and all the goodies again. Riki back intact, but now they don't have a Dark Willow. Of course, does have the buyback, as does, I assume, most heroes in the game right now.
Why is this Serpent Ward this big?
That yeah,
What happened? Why is it this big?
doesn't look that big on the
Oh, it was just on
observer.
my screen? That's
Yeah.
so weird. It's like twice
up-
the size on my screen for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like, is there a talent that makes it... But no.
Just something Valve coded into your client specifically.
You know, I hate Shadow Shaman so much. I actually don't. I always liked that hero. He's a good boy.
I mean, the longer they wait, I mean, okay, they're probably aware of it, and they obviously want to try to use this Aegis, I assume, but surely you try to take advantage of the fact that Kiyotaka does not have a neutral item,
I would
right?
think so.
I feel like that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, because you lose the enchantment too. That's what's so big here, is that you don't even have that.
Yeah, Talon looking good. I have all the confidence in the world.
Oh, trying to get the D-ward. This is super dangerous from Panto. Just frontline D-warding there with the gem. If Talon were ready, I think they could have punished that immediately.
And now we got Ags on Doom, so AoE. This one is, well, we'll see. All right, they're going to start things. Global silence to try to save Jokan. Gets E-bladed and now boxed. Kiyotaka used the BKB. Horn toss now, but the AoE Doom coming into play already. Down goes the Magnus and the Wheel of Wonder onto Kiyotaka. This is going to force 2 buybacks soon.
That's a great Axe reveal for the Doom.
Absolutely.
Top tower.
Toronto Tokyo really thought he could get an RP skewer there, but WS immediately on top of him. Cancels it out. Keep in mind, he could do it again. He has Refresher on the Doom.
With the buyback coming out from Toronto Tokyo. All right, we'll see if Talon can force out the Kiyotaka one as well. That's the only buyback not available now. What an insane game. But I do feel like next 3 minutes you can recraft neutrals, so maybe Kiyotaka is going to have time if they don't push here.
Also, just in the grand scheme of things, the neutral items in this particular game actually don't matter nearly as much as they would in others, because this is a game that's about, do you get doomed or not? Like, WS just kills everyone in this game. It's like stupidly
Well,
strong.
it matters for Talon with the Helm, specifically on Silencer, I would say.
Yeah, I'm of course, it's not like they don't matter at all, but in some games, Ultra Late game is always about explosive damage and who gets the jump, but more so than in most games, this one is just... Fights can be decided within 1 second here, and then the neutral items don't even come into play. If you blink AoE Doom and you get on top of the right heroes...
The fact that Talon don't have
Difficult.
barracks yet is hilarious.
Yeah.
So strange. All right, well, they maintain buyback on Kiyotaka, and the Aegis looks to be not being used in any effective manner, really.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Question what they're waiting for then.
What's the most level 30 heroes you've seen in a pro game?
Maybe 9.
Radiant's top
Really?
tower has fallen.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
That was actually the other day, pretty sure.
There were 9 level 30s?
86. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant 25. 30.
Radiant's middle barracks
I'd
are
have to
under
look,
attack.
yeah.
We have
Maybe.
10 level 25s now. 26s even.
No. Aegis will be going bye-bye in 30 seconds. So what's the play here? Does he just not want Aegis? Takes up a slot. Refresher's in the backpack.
All right, Shannon, it's time to predict the game duration.
I think it's ending soon.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a while until the record.
I just don't know what Talon's waiting for here.
I'm trying to think of when the last time I cast a 3-digit minute game was. That must have been years ago.
3 digits. Yeah.
So long.
We got close the other day. It was like 83, 84.
Still quite a bit to go. But yeah, the reason I start thinking about that is, well, if Talon didn't want to do anything there, what happens if Aurora just don't want to do anything either? What if both teams just... Okay.
They're going to go in. They get the AoE Doom onto Kiyotaka. Actually going on top of Tiny instead.
He has the rapier.
More valuable kill, absolutely. And that is going to be down on the ground. His neutral is useless, just like his mid laner. The neutral and the mid laner, not the mid laner himself. Toronto gets the connection onto the silencer. Makoto coming in. He's actually going to heal to full there. As WS doing all he can. The buyback came out onto the Tiny, but he is not going to be at full strength right now. Another global silence to come as Mira eventually ticks out. The helmet of the die, but 23 Savage taking a lot of damage. Gets off his GA at the last moment. There's a big RP from Toronto, but there's no damage follow-up. And the boxes from afar, Jokam saving everyone, it seems. And Aurora on the back foot now. One buyback was expended from the side of Talon, but they can definitely reset a bit if they want.
It's so ironic, isn't it? They have the Aegis for like 4 minutes, and then when it expires, then they go.
I mean, I genuinely think it's because he wanted a refresher in his inventory. He just wanted all his items in his inventory.
Well, then he shouldn't
So
have
now they
picked
can
up the Aegis to
recraft,
begin
which
with.
is good news for Nightfall and Kiyotaka because their neutrals are dead.
Yeah, he needs to get 20.
And he already has
mad
another
stones
divine.
first on the Riki and on the Tiny. This is quite a lot of neutral camps. They need to kill 20 each.
And Kiyotaka has died how many times now? At a neutral camp.
True.
Out of his 15 deaths, maybe 10 of them.
Probably. Look at Look at Talon, how their hero positions right now.
Huh.
They were all hiding deep within the base.
They're the team that's up
something.
34K, by the way.
Yep.
In case you didn't know.
They thought maybe with these buybacks that Aurora are going to go all in, so they were playing very defensively, and now catching on to the fact that, well, if Riki is pushing out top, they're
I
definitely
feel like
going.
they did not really take advantage of these dead neutrals. That is, am I overrating this? Is it not that big of a deal?
They're still dead.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they took initiative in the enemy base. They found multiple kills and got buybacks. I would say that's pretty good. Now they're just waiting to get their spells back. They want to have their 2 dooms. That's what's winning them the game. WS is ruining the enemy team. I think it's well worth it to just wait for at least 1 doom, probably both. This is one of the classic kings of the late game, but...
Oh, Panto gets the initiation. There's the global, though. Kiyotaka right on top of the Ringmaster. 2 shots him, basically. Good pickoff from Aurora. It's been a while since we've said that.
Yep.
Let the recrafting begin soon-ish.
Kiyotaka in a jungle camp. Careful, buddy.
Yeah, they're still pretty far, I
He's
guess.
critting the neutrals for 2,400
Yeah.
with 350 damage. Interesting. Interesting.
We'll be going for
Swift Blink. There it is.
Swift Blink
Finally.
and consuming his Ags, but
Needs some gold for this.
yeah, obviously wants to retain buyback considering he's died 15 times.
Radiant are scanning.
It's going to be a long day, Shannon.
I'm ready.
If you are ever a believer in the jinx, the next game will be a total stomp based on that statement. But now that I said that, it won't.
That's right.
It's going to be a long day, Shannon.
That's right.
Roche is about to be alive in 2 minutes. It's actually almost maximum respawn timer.
He will be born in 2 minutes.
Minute and a half.
Reborn again. Okay, another Divine Regalia crafted by Q.
He got the
persistent.
evolved version. This is perfect for Riki. He gets so much out of the Agi.
Scanning.
Yeah, but he could have... I don't know what his other options were. Is this really... With buybacks and whatnot?
I'm just thinking, is there a better enchant?
What if he keeps Disgraced... How is that an option? That's awesome. All right, goes for the Stygian, so minus
Wait, you
armor.
can keep?
Yeah.
That was a
but
choice?
You can keep it with a new, like an actual enchantment.
Oh, so it can't
attached.
break again. Well, then just take another one.
Yeah.
What?
I know. I'm just saying. It's funny.
That's funny. All right.
Just turned into a real juice. I mean, we knew this series was going to be hype, so.
I think 23 Savage is getting impatient. He's wanted to shower for about an hour now.
Yeah.
And
sweating up a storm.
yeah, still.
Seat is really damp. I've been there.
Yeah. Of course, depending on the season. Well, I guess they're not in Southeast Asia
Yeah,
right now. I don't think they take the weather with them.
Yeah.
Invisibility.
All right, smoke from Talon. No buyback on the Tony.
Gonna see Panto. He's dead.
Yep. Oh, jumps right over him.
He's still gonna die, I think, because of the
Global
spider legs.
silence to follow, and eventually.
Oh, they got
takes
Mira
a
too.
long ass time. Oh, you're right, and that's a bigger kill because he doesn't have buyback as WS goes in with the Axe Doom on top of Nightfall, but the RP to try to slow them down a bit.
God, he got
Nightfall continuing to get
crushed.
pursued. The Doom does fall, has buyback here as the RP onto Makoto. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be abandoned by his team. He is dead. Panto, Nightfall, Kiyotaka teaming up to get illusions and more kills onto Joe Camp.
He just one-shot him. He has 3,000 health on Ringmaster.
So Talon, 3 die. They all have buyback, of course. And Aurora, was there only one buyback they expended?
Yeah, just Panto. They'll get Roche now.
Oh boy.
Who's gonna take the Aegis? Are you gonna put it on Panto?
Nightfall will take it. So Divine.
They both made a slot. Time for some drama, Shannon. They both freed up a slot for the Aegis.
That's
Kiyotaka took it and ran away immediately. This is what
boy.
Riki does. He's a thief.
Yeah.
Steals the Aegis and leaves.
Yeah. Nightfall, you know that's going to infuriate him.
Refuses to elaborate. Kiyotaka, will he find... No. He's just going to start poking. I mean, he hits pretty hard. He has the rapier.
He does now. That is correct. Buybacks come out onto 2. He gets destroyed. Life number 1 is down already. No wonder he took the Aegis. He's going to play like that. He's going to die a second time. Kiyotaka. 16 deaths. What is happening, man? What is happening?
Why did they give the Aegis
I
to
don't
Riki?
understand.
Okay, why did they give the Aegis to Riki so that he could push when they have fucking Tiny? Dude, like, what are you doing? Just
Divine
give it to
Regalia dies a second time. The first time in pro play history. We're going to see double Divine Regalia die on the same hero. This team is something to watch. I am feeling things right now as Divine on Cuckoo. Yep, time to get a Moon Shard or something.
Let's see which version of the rapier he uses.
Yeah, he switched back to the damage.
Yeah, he has the magical one, right? No? Oh, he's using the physical one, huh? Does that make sense? He's probably not thinking about it, honestly.
This is such a strange game, man. 6 teams. I cannot get over how many deaths he has. And he's still playing that way. All right, we have a chance to regroup here. Another neutral recraft for Toronto, Tokyo.
I'm trying to wrap my head around why Riki has the Aegis and is hitting the towers instead of Tiny. Like, if there's anything I'm missing here. But
it's
considering
because he took it, that's why.
Right, but considering they both freed up a slot, I cannot help but this has to be miscommunication. And then they're just like, oh, well, you have the Aegis, you better hit, well, do my job then.
Plus,
Says
Nightfall didn't have buyback. He will in 15, though. There's too many questions.
I'm not going to say this is going to cost them the game because literally anything right now can lose the game, but that could have probably been Megas, which is a big help, right? That was the last lane of barracks for Aurora. In the time that Riki almost took the melee, I think Tiny would have taken both.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
See, he's poking. I mean, this is good damage, but Tiny can, at this point, 3-shot the range tracks, and he hits really fast.
Yeah, this was, Toronto Toki's like, yep, fuck this. I'm out of here.
Riki even had a backpack
Dies again.
BKB. Oh, that's not going to do much. All right.
Wait, did he not get the melee in the end?
No.
Oh my god, it was on 1 HP.
Yeah, they didn't even get the racks.
Jesus, man.
For what it's worth, I don't really think the barracks matter beyond megas at this point. That's the only thing that really matters. Getting just the melee is genuinely no difference. Getting megas is big. That's why 23 Savage will start pushing it with his Manta. He's going to get through it, though.
23 Savage, he's going to get boxed right off the bat. Beautiful from Jocam. 23 Savage now with the repel to run away. That's one global down, though, and you trade it for a horn toss, effectively.
He used Refresher on Tiny. Excuse me, on Magnus.
Okay.
So he only has
That's
one
a big
RP now.
too, then. And he's not going to... He didn't use Refresher on Cuckoo, so he just wait 80 seconds. Of course, that's going to extend the time of this game as per norm for the double global again. It's all about min-maxing those trades.
This is the good part of Book of the Dead, is map control. We'll still do that.
Yeah, so when I say it's bad, I'm just comparing it to the old one when it's pushing constantly,
Yeah, when it
hitting
took
towers.
yeah,
For
when you
that
would win the game with it.
specific function, it's bad now.
Yeah.
It still has its value for sure.
The thing that matters so much is the duration of it, that you can push essentially 4 waves with this book. And both teams are doing it on the respective off lanes.
Taka looking to get another Divine Rapier, or I don't think he had one before, did he? That's definitely what he needs with the...
He had one when he died at the barracks.
All right, Horn Toss onto 23 Savage. Nullifier applied. The RP is there. He gets destroyed. WS tries to go in with the Doom, but he dies right afterwards. 2 minutes of no Doom. Buyback initiated from 23 Savage. Makoto has to Rolling Thunder in retreat. They lose another support. This could be game.
This is an actual 5-on-3. Oh, they found Omni too.
Oh my goodness. Helm of the Undying.
He has a rapier.
Yeah, that's true.
Kiyotaka wants it back.
Will he notice? He does. Buys back. I think the game's done. I don't know how you hold this.
No, this is borderline impossible. I'm not going to make statements like that.
Nightfall leading the charge. What can Kiyotaka do to extend this game for Talon, Cinderin? As 23 Savage, early BKB. The buildings are going to melt to Nightfall. Just 3 shots them. All they have to do is kite these other heroes. Nightfall getting pretty low as 23 Savage. Going to take an avalanche, a nice skewer onto the silencer. A dieback for him. They get Makoto in the fountain as well. And this game will effectively end here as 23 Savage, the last remaining member, but not for long. GG's in this 80-minute barn burner. I feel like Kiyotaka didn't deserve to win this game, but he did. And we got it right off the bat, so I have to say I am not disappointed at all.
Yep.
This time around, we have a Drow Ranger, which is the strangest pick, I suppose. I feel like the Ags on this hero is exceptionally good against the lineup of Aurora, against the Abaddon and the Bristle. Obviously, they have the Hex that the panel was talking about, level 15, be able to break the Abaddon. And the thing I was most excited about, Cinderin, was Centaur.
Yeah.
He picked the Counter-Strike facet at first, and then at the last moment switched it and brought a tear to everyone's eyes.
It's unfortunate. I was telling you, I think horsepower is getting there, but apparently, or excuse me, Counter-Strike, but apparently not enough anymore, or yet, I should say.
Well, the sub-tick not strong enough yet, unfortunately. As,
Cuckoo's dead.
Yeah, Cuckoo. Only question is who will get the first blood. It will be Toronto Toki on the off-lane Bristleback.
This is the kind of game that's going to be a really interesting test to see how Talon will deal with the mid-game, because I think if this game goes late enough, Drow is going to win this game. I seriously believe this to be a great last pick under the condition that we get to the stage that we did last time around. But it's entirely possible with a draft like this from Aurora that they run over the mid-game with these 2 tanky frontline cores of Bristle and Abaddon, and then extremely strong supporting cast plus Pango. Whereas on the other side, the playmaking potential is definitely there from the Radiant, but I do think damage is something they're a little bit more lacking in. He'll be okay with the Aphotic Shield. But Drow is just not a hero that contributes very much in general for the first 20 minutes of the game.
Well,
He's not
23
really-
Savage is going to be a big fan of that. I mean, he loves to farm, Synderen. He gets these huge power spikes in the late game. This guy's a late game monster. Yeah, not much changed in the last patch for Drow. Just minor things. But the Abaddon, of course, did get some changes. He is using the quickening facet, which was not changed, Synderen. Been wanting to see the Mist Coil build, but have to wait for another day.
The quickening is just really good. It was also good when Mephitic Shroud was a thing. We saw players sometimes still take that over the Shroud. But yeah, I'm with you. I was kind of hoping the other one would start getting a little bit of seeing the light of the day here. Nightfall. Never mind. They did not continue to follow through on that shackle.
Makoto, gone on by Kiyotaka, will force out the old Ava. So far, 11-3 for Makoto, and 9-2 for Kiyotaka, as the other rune was denied by Cuckoo.
Yeah, it's important. This allows Makoto to potentially win this lane now.
How about this lane? Centaur against the old Abby AA. They don't really have any setup for a cold feet type situation.
This feels like a lane that over a bit of time Aurora should pull ahead in, just from consistent harassment between the AA and the Abaddon, just being able to trade into Centaur at little cost. It's very hard for Shaman to fight back. As long as either Cold Feet or Aphotic Shield is ready, I don't really see them likely getting kills. And oh, let's put it to the test, shall we?
Indeed. As Panto on the outside of this Lotus area. Looks like they'll be able to get the Lotus for the side of Talon, as Nightfall will take heavy damage in retreat.
I don't think Aurora needed to yield there.
Ooh, he actually does die to the Avalanche, so solo kill for Makoto is a huge.
If Panto would have gone into the ring, I think they could have won the fight on top. But now they're going to be fighting into the Shaman. They'll get that kill.
Oh, yeah.
Now WS going to take some shots as well. We'll be okay. Nightfall opting to get 2 points in Aphotic Shield over the 2 points in Curse for now.
Are they actually going to dive this?
Both.
I don't think so. Cuckoo dealing out a ton in turn, though.
Standard stuff here from 23 to rush boots against Bristle. And Bristle himself has a Ring of Health, so... Nice little easy kill there.
It was not that difficult for him, was it? Kiyotaka going to turn on Makoto, though, this time under the tower.
Yeah, he's waiting for Shield Crash to come off cooldown.
Yeah,
But the wave will die in the meantime. No
too
glyph.
long for him.
If he had glyph, then maybe he could have gone for that kill.
Tell he really wants to go. We saw him last. I'm going to make a prediction. He's not going to have 16 deaths on Pango this
I
game.
think that's a very brave prediction.
Yeah. If he does, then that will actually impress me.
He went Thunderbolt as well, just like Makoto in game 1. So no double jump, which might have changed the lane, honestly. I think this is the lane where double jump can make a decently big difference.
Oh, he's
Is it
going
just
for the
a
kill here.
single or jump?
Makoto.
It's not going to go on.
Toss up. Swash does partially hit.
But that'll
and
kill him,
Bramble,
maybe?
Makoto.
No.
Oh my god, he almost ran into the other one.
Is
Yeah.
under attack.
Well, he got to walk back to base. And he's going to lose a decent amount of XP as a result of this.
Yeah, it's a full wave in tower, and Kiyotaka will get the water rune. So after that, mid lane is kind of back to even. Toronto, Tokyo, though.
Ooh, last right click from Cuckoo is enough.
This lane is dirty, 2v1. I can't think of an offlaner that can stand against this at all when the support leaves. Drow and Ringmaster, just constant long-range harass, strong slows. I have to be careful whenever Mira chooses to move. And in spite of them not getting the kill mid, I don't think it was an unsuccessful rotation. You just need to be a bit more careful in Bristle. Or maybe you have to take the death, because if the alternative is that you hide away in the jungle and get nothing, gotta at least force them to go on you. Mikoto again.
Power rune. They're trying to fight over here relatively soon. That's why everybody has made their way over. Mikoto wants to get to the north. The Bramble's making it a bit difficult. As a result, the bottle filled for Kiyotaka. Invis rune for him. Shadow round. Should be fine, but Rolling Thunder now onto Mikoto. He needs some backup for this extra damage. Perma-stunned perfectly right now from Kiyotaka. Do they have the damage to follow it up? Shield crash. It's not enough. Swashbuckle the fall. He actually jumps into the Bramble.
No way he lives here. That's so
with
insane.
barely any health will actually live. Nice ether shot coming out from the Rasta, but Jokam will eventually be brought down. Mira ticks out to Jokam eventually as well. So 1 for 1 in the support battle. Oh, and the avalanche from below.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Nice kill for Mikoto, just sticking around for a straggler.
What an insane outcome that was for Talon.
Radiant are scanning.
They keep Mikoto alive and they trade 2 for 1 with that. Time for Wisdom Shrines. Jokum will take the Radiant one, and looks like Toronto Tokyo will be the lucky recipient of the Dire, which means one of the 2 Dire supports will be lower level. No, never mind. He's leaving it for Panto. I think this is the right call. Some games it can be nice to give your offlaner that bit of a boost, but you really need both AA and Willow to hit 6s in this game. Toronto Tokyo with the Vanguard triple gauntlet will be fine to just sit in the lane and farm anyway. But 23 Savage has other plans for this level 6.
Harassment continues. Multi-shot from 23 Savage. Not enough to kill Toronto Tokyo outright, but puts the fear of Gaben in him for sure. He has
what you'll find laying around.
the Vanguard right now on Toronto.
You get the next one.
And WS exactly the same.
Dire are scanning.
Kiyotaka, oh, he actually gets hexed on the other side of the trees. The rune is bottom. It's an illusion.
I don't think they can kill him here.
I don't think so. As he gets tossed in the air, it's making it difficult for sure. And now with the help of Mira, with the Stampede to help out Mikoto in turn, gets to the high ground, but the Rolling Thunder is continuing to come for him, and that is enough for a kill.
Oh, nice
Kiyotaka
avalanche.
dies shortly after, thanks to the Ava. So 1 for 1, the support or the mids kill each other effectively.
Fortune's change.
Of course, Kiyotaka with the XP bonus there.
You're not quick enough.
And both carries farming quite well.
Yeah. This is a game where I'm curious to see how Nightfall itemizes, because as the panel talked about, let's see if I don't think they can follow through on this. As a matter of fact, WS needs to be a little bit careful.
Yes, he does.
And he is, but Jokum wasn't careful enough.
Yeah, he came back because he thought Centaur would be in trouble and was going to die for his efforts. Toronto Tokyo, in the meantime, left alone again. And will die this time to Mikoto and company, who group up. So second death for Toronto
Dire's
Tokyo.
bottom tower is
Trying to
under
think how you itemize a Baton in a game like this, because this was a pretty late pick from Aurora, but they picked it into Shadow Shaman, so there's going to be that 15 Hex problem. And then the last pick, Drow. Guess you go Radiance, and then
middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
maybe you still just do the standard Radiance Manta Blink.
What do you think about...
But you need to get on top of Drow.
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say, what do you think about Harpoon this
Yeah,
game with
Harpoon
Blink?
as well. I think you need both.
You're going to have Drow on the cliff with the shard eventually. He's going to have Hurricane Pike. You need a lot of gap closing.
Blink Manta Harpoon, I think is where it's at, probably.
Blink first.
Oh, no, not in that
okay.
one. You need Radiance first. Radiance
you want
Manta
Radiance
Harpoon.
on top of that. I see.
Radiance Manta Harpoon.
TP canceled. Rolling Thunder.
This is a big
Onto
kill.
23 Savage. Kiyotaka has been very active with this ult of his. Swashbuckle finishes the job.
Is under attack.
Big kill for Aurora.
Great find, especially because he TP'd, so it's a bigger loss.
True.
And respawning, he'll have to walk. The walk of shame. Odd tower will be claimed. First one of the game for the side of Aurora.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And obviously a big part of why certain heroes that were rated very highly last patch made them even better was their ability to take the Tormentor at level 15 or minute 15. Bristleback, one of those heroes. TA, another great example. Those two heroes will now have to wait till minute 20, but of course they'll still be equally good at it. So The reason that comes to mind is this is a very standard way of playing previous patch where you take this bot tower for your Bristol, in turn he takes the Tormentor and you kind of accelerate your lineup. But Spike will have to wait a little bit longer.
Well, Nightfall. 2,000 away from Sacred Relic and change 23 Savage. Oh,
Oh,
Blast
whoa.
is not going to do a damn thing.
Never.
Did not connect
Dire's middle
everything
tower
there.
is under attack.
But it's interesting that this support duo has a ton of kill power. Can kill almost every hero in this game between the two of them.
He's running right into the Dark Willow. The whip, but the Shadow Realm first. This should still be a kill, surely. He's going to attempt to TP out. He's fine.
I had the option to cast Terrorize, but they didn't really feel like fighting, so we'll just leave.
12-minute rune. Another battle, potentially. It'll be bottom again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Makoto gets lucky on that one. So Diffusal online for Kiyotaka. Does not go for the Aghanim
Radiant's
Scepter
top
first like
tower
on
is
Riki
under
Cinder.
attack.
Wise choice.
But we'll probably go X next, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think the conversation after a game like that is?
Radiant
You
are
win,
standing.
but my God, it was not pretty.
That's a good question, because there's like different things you can focus on, right? I would say the most important thing to focus on is just mentally resetting, win or lose. Like actually, if you can make like one or two key conclusions on the game where, all right, we need to focus more on this, or this was something that we did incorrectly that we will rectify in the second game, that's it. Don't make it too complicated. It was an 80-minute game. A lot of stuff happened for both teams that was both right and wrong.
Yeah.
But if there's something very clear that you can immediately solve, then that's it, and then you just go for the next one.
WS under his tier 1 tower, Terrorize. Bramble's going to hit along with the Ice Blast. Should be an easy one. Gets off the hoof stomp, but actually uses the Stampede as Kiyotaka rolling thunder of his own. Drow gets tossed to the south, and I think Kiyotaka, oh my God, the damage from Drow. Pretty absurd, even at this early stage. Yeah, Mira on the run. Won't outrun the Avalanche, but does get the Shadow Realm off.
See you later.
And he's gone.
Radiant's middle tower
So
is under
after
attack.
game 1, you don't think anybody, like Nightfall, went to Kiyotaka and said, I think you died too many times?
I mean, is that constructive
No, of
feedback?
course not.
I mean, he obviously no, but oh, you're asking if I think he did that.
Dire's
Yes.
structures are fortified.
Maybe I'm not gonna
Now,
speculate
is
there
it
yet.
constructive if he doesn't think he died too much?
Yes,
Okay.
but then
Then you have other problems to worry about.
yeah,
Delusion.
I think delusion is a bigger issue at that point. Yeah, if you think dying
Radiant's middle
16
tower
times on a
is
mid
under
Riki is
attack.
normal.
Are scanning.
Ooh, Makoto very angry with the haste rune being
kill,
deleted.
though.
Phanto's actually going to survive through this. AA Blast.
That ain't great.
Jokem dead.
And Makoto, is he gonna get out of this? I don't think
He
so.
runs right into Nightfall with the body blocks.
He doesn't have TP.
23 Savage is here for a little moral support. Gets a multi-shot into a gust, and he's going to attempt to run away as well, but you
They're
can
all
see
bleeding
Kiyotaka
out.
on top of him with the Bedlam from Mira. Huge kills for Aurora. Makoto actually does get out, so they didn't even need 23 Savage.
Well, if he hadn't come and taken the support's attention,
Yeah,
then maybe
That's true.
he still needs to get out himself.
Yeah, might not be safe after all. Kiyotaka, all right, the Stampede comes, but the Rolling
He's on the
Thunder,
hunt.
just don't misclick here. He's going to stay for the rune. And Kiyotaka will just have a little drive-by action.
Keeping them on their toes. This is a very good phase here for Aurora.
Aurora.
A lot of things going right.
Dire's middle tower
Excuse me, I said it completely normally.
Nah, you said a little weird.
No, I didn't.
Just slightly.
I've said it weirder earlier today, and you didn't comment on
rah.
that. No,
Why don't you just listen to me?
like the sound of a cute baby dinosaur. Aurora.
Versus Talon as, who was calling him that?
Talon?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone did that.
Some disturbed individual in the talent room, I believe. narrow down if you want.
Post Talon? Sounds like something Keza would have said.
Lol. Actually know that reference.
No, that's impressive. Since you don't know anything outside
because
of the world
he was
of
in
movies.
a Taylor Swift, or was it Taylor Swift? I don't even know.
Oh, do you know who Taylor Swift is
Yeah,
as well?
barely.
This is crazy. All right, here we
blast.
go. It is connecting. Cuckoo's dead.
Cuckoo, mega dead. Another kill in the name of Aurora.
Killing in the name of. That's nice. Another good reference that you didn't mean to make, but
I
which is
did
cool.
not. Joe Camp. As Makoto is here to play as well. So finally, Talon able to get something valuable.
If Toronto Tokyo had got his stick and Lotus off there, he would have lived. So good thing they managed to chain stun him perfectly. Kiyotaka behind enemy lines.
Oh, he finds 23 Savage.
Yeah, this is just a matter of time. There's no way they don't do anything about this. Did 23 notice himself getting blocked?
Oh,
It doesn't look like
shot.
it.
Just doesn't want to get gusted. Yeah, the rest are coming. Oh, he actually dodged. He actually dodged him. Now they see him again.
Is under attack.
Oh, he misses the swatch. Now gets gusted. It's going to continue on, though. Shield crash into the Rolling Thunder. There's no Ice Blast, though. Can they actually catch up? I don't think so. The
Oh my god.
Nightfall kind of gets
this is
baited
so
in. This is
awkward.
kind of disastrous for Aurora. Let's see if they can get out. Panto will not be able to. And Dark Willow. Okay, WS getting pretty low. The Crimson plus box keeps them alive a little bit longer as the Wheel of Wonder comes out. Kiyotaka dies shortly after. And this was completely shut down almost by accident.
Yeah.
And this would be an even bigger kill. Nightfall
Yeah, he's dead.
shackled during his ult. He'll be whipped into oblivion, and Makoto is here to help bring that carry down. 23 Savage with a triple kill after he was scouted in the trees and hounded. But who was the prey there?
I really thought Kiyotaka was going to start that with Rolling Thunder instead of starting it with Swashbuckle. And then
Agreed.
obviously he missed the Swashbuckle, at least partially, which didn't help. But I don't think he would have killed him anyway. You're seeing the replay here. So it's like, you don't have Ice Blast. You're waiting for AA to connect over.
And he missed it.
Okay, he missed
too.
it entirely, actually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, without Ice Blast and with
Right.
Rolling Thunder as an afterthought.
At that point, he could still
could
run
get out
back.
here,
He baited the
possibly.
whole team in.
They all dive in.
This is why we love Aurora, because there's always plays like this that you look back on and you're like, was this the correct choice? Makes it more entertaining for the plebs, myself included.
Yeah, well, in particular. Okay, well, that was a little bit of a gift and a half
Tower is under attack.
for the side of Talon. They'll gladly accept. Worth keeping in mind, Toronto Tokyo was not involved for that, but he's pretty poor. He's had some standout games on that Bristleback, but 6th in net worth right now. 1,500 behind the enemy Centaur on WS. And that item disadvantage is quite meaningful. WS now has the Crimson Guard and also doesn't need to buy boots. So the Bristol is effectively a little bit behind. An item behind, you could say, almost.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But
that
he has
fight
the
alone
shard.
equalized the game. Aurora were on the doorstep of being able to snowball this in their favor. They were up by 3K, so pretty gigantic mistake. And see if Talon can continue to take advantage of the mistakes of Aurora. Of course, that game one, they did lose, but still really close the whole way through.
Seeing the smoke approach here. Cuckoo will actually break it. Perfect timing.
Yep, Swashbuckle hits. Box on himself. Kiyotaka with the roll up into the Rolling Thunder. AA Blast hits one. This Rasta will likely be chased down and just tick away to the AA ult. Indeed does shatter. In the meantime, though, they get the Terrorize. Only on to one here. So far, it's a 2 for nothing. That's actually an early double buyback. My goodness. They're feeding relentlessly. Makoto drops to the grave. But here's the Wheel of Wonder to try to save the Drow Ranger. It's going to be close, but Nightfall still has his ult to work with. Another 2 dead for Talon, so 4 die in that engagement for 1. 2 buybacks expended as well.
Yeah.
And just like that, it goes back into Aurora control.
In terms of economy, that's kind of like a 5 for 1, right? Or almost 6 for 1. The 2 buybacks are worth... It's 2 support, so it's not the end of the world, but
You can definitely tell on the net worth breakdown right now that they are trailing by a ton. pawn at this point, and there's still a Tormentor up for grabs. We already established the Dire lineup with Bristle good at taking it, but they don't need him if they're the other 4. This will be nice and easy for them. Let's see who from Aurora will get the Tormentor. That will be Panto getting the upgraded Ice Blast for the stun.
And just like that, it's a 6K lead. Gracious me, oh my.
Yep. This is a fun graph to look at.
Yeah, that is something. Now the question is, how long until it goes the other way, Cinder?
Yeah.
Because it's just a matter of time.
That is indeed a good question.
Let's ask
Dire's middle
Kiyotaka.
tower is under
Let's
attack.
have a camera on him. He's the one that's going to make that happen.
Pause for a mid-game interview. Mira.
That would be amazing. They actually do that in the NBA for some reason.
Yeah,
As Mira deleted.
Showing off the shard. Obviously know he had it, but
Just no.
Blink on the Centaur now. That's after he went for Blade Mail Crimson, so kind of a later Blink than we're used to seeing.
let's see if we can put to use here.
Rolling Thunder, I hear it. Wheel of Wonder on top of the Bristleback. He's still facing the other direction though. Now the Stampede from WS. They're trying to run away from this giant ball. And Kiyotaka just looks too juicy not to go for apparently. Shield crashes to the low ground. And nothing comes of it as a pause. We're going to be rejoicing that Kiyotaka did not die there.
Yeah, that's a self-report there by Nightfall. The first time he uses his Manta, he pauses for settings. So now Talon know he has Manta.
Yeah.
All right. Seems like we're good to go.
Yeah, so Radiance Manta there for Abby.
Not this again.
What?
Nobody calls him Abby.
Does that matter? Oh, post-up initiation from WS showing off that newly picked up Blink Dagger. Jocam, his channel gets canceled right away. Willow cleans him up easily as WS in a pretty precarious spot as well. He melts to the damage, but meanwhile 23 Savage on top of Kiyotaka along with Makoto nearby. That is a big kill. 2 cores dead for Aurora. As Talon, just a support in their off lane.
How do they always kill Toronto Tokyo so easily? It's kind of crazy. I mean, he's a Bristleback with Vanguard Glimmer, and somehow he dies first every time.
Well, Drought does do a lot of damage.
She does have Ags.
Oh yeah,
That'll
did
help.
you have it for that fight?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is, we talked about it earlier.
It's amazing.
It's an insane hypothermia game.
You're not going anywhere.
Kiyotaka looking very calm here.
Just
And a nice head of hair today. As opposed to another day, I guess.
Always. Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this, but
I don't need to go in there. I'm just complimenting his head of hair.
Today.
Jealous, you know? Today, though. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Only today. A Blink Dagger on Panto. Very interesting. He's 6-2, by the way. What the hell?
Radiant are
Did
scanning.
not realize that.
It happens quite frequently to AA supports. You play from a very safe position and you have high damage, so you're likely to get kills. You, of course, would not know this because this is the antithesis of everything you like in a Dota hero.
Dire are scanning.
Because you want to go up close and personal,
That's correct.
and you don't want to kill the enemy team. You kill yourself when you play Pango and Centaur.
True. I do like self-damage. Self-flagellation, as they call it, I think, in the biz.
Turn for Kiyotaka. You ever play Darkest Dungeon?
That is a negative. Cuckoo. Caught off guard. Will box himself. Cursed Crown eventually will go off. AA Blast on
see you
top
later.
of the... Yeah, he used the Ghost Scepter, and that was his doom.
Love the Blink Dagger here on Panto. He needs to be able to reliably connect his ult. And it also gives them a burst, like a quick instant stun, which could help them kill the Drow down the stretch.
Nice dodge. Jocam won't be able to dodge this, though. Tries to TP. Whoa! Oh, baby!
What?
Jocam God.
How can you... Okay, I think Kiyotaka chose every wrong option.
And then he blinked in the correct
Yes.
one a millisecond too late. Well, kill wouldn't have mattered all too much. Nightfall with the Aegis.
Dire's middle tower is under
Okay.
attack.
I mean, he's sick of giving it to Kiyotaka. He just wastes it, I guess.
And now he has the dagger. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's going to go Abyssal. This is a different angle to the Harpoon, but it's similar logic, right? You want to jump in, get on top of Drow and stay on top of Drow.
Okay.
I'm not completely sure that I like this.
Whoa there! Whoa, can we get a replay of that?
Radiant's
That
bottom
was
tower is
quite the
under
ice
attack.
blast. Panto showing off that 7-2 score line. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Dire are
You
scanning.
seem to be speechless.
I didn't see it.
Oh.
I was looking at my own monitor.
WS?
It was very uneventful, I'm assuming, because nobody took damage, so...
Correct.
Yeah, has to stampede out.
You will. He just meleeed ice blasted on himself, basically.
Oh, was he on top of creeps?
No. He was in the river. There we go. Just double tapped it. You know, it happens to the best of us.
Oh, he just misclicked the order. Okay. I think he wanted to Ice Vortex and then blink on top of Tiny and burst him really quick, but must have misclicked.
So 23 Savage. Talked about his Ags. Manta is almost done. And then an eventual Silver Edge to break the old Bristle. Well, and the Abbey, we talked about that before with the Hex.
Yeah.
Of course, you need a Silence on top of that, but the Hex has both in one as Kiyotaka with the Rolling Thunder. This Ringmaster's getting bounced everywhere. Terrorize not going to do too much. Makoto on the run. Actually biding his time to maybe go back in.
Dire's bottom
23
tower
Savage
is
keeps them at bay. Of course, Aurora going to use this Aegis timing.
has been Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
As long as 23 Savage is staying in a safe position and gets to just play artillery, he can kill the entire enemy team. This is still my biggest concern for Aurora, is whether they can solve this Drow Ranger problem in the long run. Nullifier on the Pango will be a big help. And Makoto in
on
a
him,
really
Makoto.
compromised
He's going to be able to
position here.
use
Okay, never mind.
both that and the Spirit Vessel off.
Yeah, they don't want to commit onto that with a Baton too far away. If Nightfall was near, this would have been spooky, because he could have followed through on that Yule. Can easily go in first with his Aegis. 2 minutes left on that. Would love to see Aurora try to put it to use.
Radiant's middle
And
tower
maybe now they
is
will.
under
He TP's
attack.
bottom. He wants to go and protect the Shrine of Wisdom. Joachim gets the blink off. He could chase them, though. And he's dead.
Brambles.
Gonna waste as much time as he can, but that's not a lot. And
Oh, Stampede on the other side, though. Rolling Thunder again from Kiyotaka. Man, he loves going on top of this poor Ringmaster. Gonna box himself, delay as much as possible.
another kill
They
for
have the
Panto.
damage nonetheless. So Manta now online for 23. But still, a minute and a half
Dire's
on this
middle tower
Aegis.
is under
And
attack.
I mean, there's still 3 tier 2s up. See if Aurora can group up and try to take at least one of them down.
The Nullifier and Pango is definitely going to be a big game changer potentially for them. With gives them an option of really getting on top of the Drow if he gets in. Drow doesn't like buying BKB. Eventually, she's probably going to here, but you can
Radiant's bottom
get in with a Bat and Blink and with Pango Nullifier on top of Drow. They don't really have any saves for her except Stampede. That's the one thing that will protect her from Nullifier. Obviously, that's going to remove the box. Bottom tower. Law and Order being delivered by Nightfall.
Kodo defending the bot tower. Avatos onto Nightfall. Gets off the ult.
That'll hold
Definitely have to get away here. Shadow Shaman level 13, so 2 away from being able to destroy Nightfall if they have the damage.
Yeah.
Which Drow, Tiny, I would say they do.
They do.
Of course, the break on Bristle we talked about. Pretty much no bad option here.
Shaman is amazing this game. Joachim can really be a big difference maker with level 15 talent. Oof, fast reaction.
No. Just no.
Here we'll get out and buy yours. These supports on the Dire being this rich is pretty much the net worth difference. 5,000 is what they're ahead by combined, and that will give an additional utility item to each of them. AA with the Blink Solar Crest Ghost Scepter, and Mira sitting on Blink Vessel Yules. We've been focusing a lot on the cores, but the supports in this game can, in particular from Aurora's side, really carry the game with just higher damage output. The Shaman not going to be able to match until level 15. That's when his game transforms. Aurora will be making a move of their own now. Aegis expires. They don't care. They're going to smoke up and look for the second Tormentor of the game. In the meantime, Talon trying to find them, but he's going to drop the Serpent Ward mid.
Snakes for the win.
This is so much bigger on my screen.
It
I guess
really
it's the zoom.
is.
They also zoomed, right? But still. Okay, this is just what it... Okay.
Why are you zoomed in all the time?
Huh? I regular zoom. They're zoomed out.
Well, tier 2.
Am I zoomed in on this PC?
Will be traded for the Tormentor.
I think so.
Guys, oh, Nightfall gets the shard. Wow. Okay. To remind myself what that is. Oh, that's the old Mephitic Shield.
Yeah.
Arthritic Shield, whatever it's called.
Mephitic Shroud.
Yeah, that's right.
Arthritic Shield. Well, he does seem old, to
What
be fair.
the?
Yep, classic pickup, the 32-minute Midas on Shadow Shaman.
He knows it's going 70 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
He knows something we don't.
Guess so.
Okay.
Oh, he's trying to hit his level 15 as fast as possible, so level 14 Midas.
That is... Well, he wants to get 15. I guess he's like, I desperately need this.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That is an interesting choice.
He's dead.
Yep. They see his Midas like, oh, okay. I see what you're doing there, young man.
Another kill for Panto.
9 and 2 on the AA.
He's been in 21 of 23 kills
Not bad.
on the position 5. What more could you ask for?
Well, you can ask for all of them.
Okay. And an Amaretto's Hour, of course.
Oh, man, I could
That'd
use
be
one of those right
that'd
now.
be the ultimate position 5, I think. Carry the game and then get me a drink.
I'd be interested in trying one cast with you, Tipsy.
Yeah? How many drinks does it take you to get tipsy? That's incorrect.
Yutaka pressuring the tier 2 here in the top lane. Panto on the sideline. Ice Blast not quite up yet. Nightfall will ensure that the tier 2 goes down uncontested.
8K lead now for Aurora. They will get an Assault Cry. I'm being very careful now to really pronounce it fully for you.
Thank you.
Also start saying it in Danish if
Oh,
you'd like.
there we go.
Midas
Yeah,
for Panto.
That's what happens when you give supports too many kills. He's got 9 already. He's like, I'm a core. Time to get some Midas action.
Just sounded like a bird.
Yeah.
I'm a core.
Oh. You get a Midas, I get a Midas.
Oh.
Tell you what.
It's the American bald eagle, apparently.
That's right.
BKB,
All
big
right,
item
that's a
alert.
big, juicy
23
one.
Savage. And this is a big moment.
Now that the 2 Midases have come out for the supports
Amp
on both
damage.
sides, they're ready to fight.
Nightfall takes it.
Yep, the damage rune.
And yeah, this shows Talon that they're smoked because that rune just disappeared in front of them.
Well, could be a bug.
Yeah, true.
Both smoked now.
Dota doesn't
run
really have
right
any of those
into
now.
each other. Cuckoo, he will break. Looking for, he's gonna get evaporated. Cannot get the box off in time. Toronto Toki, in the meantime, taking all the damage from the Drow. Will be able to get away thanks to the Glimmer. Meanwhile, Shackle onto Nightfall delays a bit, but the AA Blast will be there. And Wheel of Wonder not doing a ton, although does delay. Well, I guess they're just gonna break things up here either way, but it costs 2 buybacks for Aurora. Kiyotaka died.
That was not too bad for Talon.
Yeah.
They got a sick combo between the Tiny and the Drow there to start the fight. Really made the difference. Mikoto, you're going to see that in the replay here. So Cuckoo will just die. He'll get nullified and killed off. But look at this Avatos plus the volley. Toronto Tokyo should be happy he even gets out there to begin with. And the Ice Blast only clipping the support. But We'll, of course, give the Aegis over to Kiyotaka here. Now, if last game is anything to go by, he's going to go and siege the buildings with Pango and then die twice.
Yep, that's right.
But that's why you have the post-game of Game 1 to talk that through and be like, hey, man, don't steal my Aegis next game, okay?
That's right.
But this time around, he got permission,
Okay.
so it's fine.
See how it works out for Aurora. Nightfall. Was pursuing Makoto. Gets
Oh, they're still
blinked off,
chasing.
though. Oh,
Mira
and the
looking
load
for a
edge.
Yule.
That's going to be some
Oh,
information.
that was
to Bramble.
real close.
Makoto ends up surviving. Untouched, in fact.
Yeah, he actually had BKB on cooldown. He would have died if those brambles hit. Close call. Now, what are we going to do with the Aegis here?
Shadow Shaman level 15.
Yeah. Soon to be 16, courtesy of Hand of Midas.
That's right, it's paid off.
After 2 uses.
I honestly can't even blame it. It feels like games are going later in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I can blame him, but
Of course you
see
can.
a line of thought there. Like, okay, I got the early game supporty items. This is going 60 minutes as usual. Let's get value. Kiyotaka's already used. Swash, looking for
Good
the Rolling
opener
Thunder.
from Nightfall.
Pistol Blade on 23 Savage gets off the Hurricane Pike though, but Rolling Thunder on top of 23 Savage, forcing out the BKB now. Nightfall tossed up into the air by Makoto. Now the damage comes out from the Drow.
Oh, the
they have to be careful. The Hex, do they have the damage? Absolutely. 85 seconds of no Nightfall on the Abaddon. 23 Savage going to try to fight his way out of this. The Wheel of Wonder providing a lot of space as they are decimating the Aurora lineup. And just like that, it's a full team wipe minus the Aegis. And now surrounded is Kiyotaka, and Aurora will get team wiped. Did they lose anybody? No. So Talon showing up big time in that fight.
They try to deal with the Drow. They just can't. The BKB changes everything. They go in for the Nullify, and they try to stick on her. And
Oh, bathroom time.
yeah, it's going to go quickly. He's going to take a shower.
Man, that is... Getting up like that is not great. That is not good. That's
Give them
not
the
a good
benefit
look.
of the doubt. Might be someone at the door.
Yeah, pizza time.
Pizza delivery. You're going to have a pizza party for GPK, even though he's not on the team.
Dire's middle tower
In honor of GPK. All right,
Here comes
building
the
da- I
push.
mean, this is a serious push. We were talking about their lack of building damage last game. It is not an issue now.
It's 25 on Drow.
Tiny Drow. This will be a lane.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
See, there's no buybacks for Aurora, so should be a clean one. Makoto fishing a bit.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
They'll just back up with the melee. Be happy with that. So 7K lead for Talon.
So far, this Drow pick has looked like a stroke of genius,
Dire's bottom
honestly.
tower is under attack.
It's the perfect solution to the potential problems they would have. They just needed to get there, and they did. It's just that these games are very hard to end at the 25-30 minute mark, so you can anticipate your Drow will get her items. Not only that, but 23 Savage is super farmed, as a matter of fact. 2,000 ahead of the Abaddon. And yeah, this Nightfall. Abyssal just seems necessary. I wonder if they're going to need a Hex, too, in order to kill him.
Oh boy, workhorse.
Yeah, now that won't even save him. Or kill him,
So
rather.
he has the iceberg, whatever the hell it's called,
Oh, that's a throwback.
and
The Glacier.
Glacier. Sorry,
Are
close enough.
scanning.
Yeah, not to be accused, not to be confused with Iceberg the player from many years back. Yeah, a lot of ways for 23 Savage to get some distance.
Iceberg, the laning
Dire's
god.
bottom tower is under attack.
And they have Serpent Wards now.
Structures
Man,
are
this
falling.
is going to be hard to defend. Serpent Ward doing its job. It's going to get it with the help of the Drow as Makoto finds a little juicy nugget into Nightfall. Forcing out the borrowed time already.
That's big. Well, you could argue it's actually not even that important because they have Shadow better Shaman.
Yeah, but now you don't have to rely on it. Toss back, Toronto, Tokyo. Oh, Wheel of Wonder comes out. Makoto looking for someone as Kiyotaka is just taking so much damage from 23 Savage. The cart comes out from WS. He's not putting anybody in it because he doesn't need to. The horse can do whatever he wants. WS links in with the double edge, forcing out the Shadow Realm. Nobody has died as of yet. Stampede's still up. Man, Workhorse, look at the cooldown, man.
Yep. 24 seconds only.
So low. He popped it just in case, or his blink got canceled, either way. I mean, it's time to give 23 Savage a ride of a lifetime, Cinderant. In that cart, that is.
Yeah, okay.
Into the enemy
Happy we
front
specified
line.
that, so there's no potential misunderstandings here. Of course.
Bring him to the front line.
Are scanning.
23 Savage doesn't mind.
Does sound like a great morning, though. Wake up, have a shower, and then the ride of a lifetime. Not bad. Not a bad way to start your Monday morning.
I usually like to shower after, personally, but
Yeah, that's fine.
just me. Shiva is now there for the Tony. Mr. Makoto. Been seeing a lot of this utility tiny mid with the Yules and whatnot. It's been very effective.
And he goes.
Jump
Another
in
try.
with the Shivas. Toss back. And that is going to be a dead bristleback. You can see Mir on the back line. The Terrorize is a little bit too slow, though. Kiyotaka with that Rolling Thunder. Going to get the box. Saves Jokam for a little bit, and here comes the cart. Nightfall trying to do something about it, but the Drow Ranger is untargetable, ladies and gentlemen. Inside the cart of destiny. Nightfall gets off the borrow time. 23 Savage can finally pop his iceberg, or whatever the fuck it's called. He's stuck inside this corner, though. My goodness, he actually ends up dying. They get up close and personal, and he cannot handle it. WS with the cart in 6 seconds will attempt to TP out. Cancels it. Lotus. Cart is up in just a moment, along with the Crimson Guard. There's the cart. Can you follow him? Yes. Mira was on a cliff of his own. So 4 dead.
So unpredictable.
I thought he was going to kill everybody. He did nothing. He did nothing in the corner.
I guess the one downside to the cart is Centaur needs to be a better driver because
Yeah.
you can't drive too close to the enemy heroes, right? Then Drow loses marksmanship.
Yeah,
You have
that
to
is true.
keep the distance correct, and I think he went a little bit too close. And also, that time around, Drow was going on a bad end, but they didn't have the Hex. Shaman was taken out of the fight, so Nightfall finally got to play his hero.
Yeah, this is where I'm not saying it's a bad decision, but 23 Savage, he was originally going for Silver Edge. He changed his mind, obviously, at some point. I mean, that's a kill every time on Bristle if he has it.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It's double value against the Abaddon if you have a silence as well, right? Which I guess, you know, you do yourself with Gust, but he can Manta that off.
Yeah.
Okay, well, back the other way we go. We're now back to even once more.
Yeah, what did we say?
Radiant's
GPK.
middle tower has fallen.
That's all you got to say in games like this.
Yeah. Shout out to Pure and Flax.
Kiyotaka didn't have Ags? He's getting it now.
Yep.
Wow.
He went Nullify first, which I actually think was a really good pivot this game.
I'm not saying it's bad, it's just unusual. Very rarely see that. All right. Aurora in the pit. You can see that Talon kind of want to contest this. Rambles are going to be really annoying to deal with. And Aurora get everything they want. Kiyotaka, in fact, going to continue the pressure.
And
23 Savage actually forces him out. The right click, not quite enough. Kiyotaka, for once in this series, has lived through one fight. Oh, wait, the tree?
I was just going to say he needs to buy Ghost Scepter, and he actually does queue it up.
Okay.
You need to be able to roll in this game and not get murdered by Drow. This is part of when Pango was an even higher tier pick, back when he was being first and second picked in Pro Dota, teams started countering him with TA. Because TA now is actually a high enough range hero that she can stand outside the fight and just kill you with meld. And Drow fits the same bill. The way you solve this as Pango is by getting either a ton of armor, which isn't good against Drow, so well, your base armor isn't anyway, so you just get the Ghost Scepter. It's the easy and cheap solution to the problem. All
All right, well, now what's going to happen when neither team has a lead? So far, being ahead has been a curse. So
somebody will gain it, and then they will lose it again.
I think every time a team fight has been won has been the team with a net worth deficit.
That's correct in this game. That's this series in a nutshell. That's why we were so excited to cast it. You just have no clue what's happening.
Yes.
And now that the Aegis is on the side of Aurora, you can see Talon ready to push. Mira, the
That's a big
aggressive
find.
Yules.
That's
Rambo,
a really big
a
find.
blast, but the Force Staff. And Kiyotaka coming in with the Rolling Thunder. Makoto trying to save him with the toss, but he's going to tick out eventually here. A nice kill for Aurora.
It's the dream kill. If you can find Shaman first, you know you're bad and can play, and he's just going to go straight to work. But they immediately recognize, all right, Shaman gets caught, we're going to full disengage. But Kiyotaka has other plans. He's going to chase Cuckoo down.
Yep, okay. Actually uses the refresher. There's the cart.
See you later.
Saving Ringmaster.
Oh, is it though?
He gets stunned by the Rolling Thunder from Kiyotaka. The right clicks. Oh my god, he's just dying so fast to Drow. It's a drive-by death.
Yeah, he still doesn't have his ghost.
Yeah, where I thought
so
he didn't have enough money. Yeah. Whew. Kiyotaka with a costly death. I heard that one before.
You've got nothing.
This is death number 8 for him, so halfway there. Yeah, he's having a rough one today, I'll be honest.
Yeah. It's time to wash your face.
Yeah, you're not supposed to touch your face with your fingers, guys. A lot of germs because you're touching your phone, which is disgusting. Your phone is the dirtiest thing on your body right now, for most people.
Okay, glad we got the for most people in there.
Well, there's some real sickos out there. Don't want to get any more details than that.
Okay.
Makoto level 25.
Is under attack.
2 toss charges. Really valuable in this game. You can use it either offensively to toss people back, but also save your Drow. And yes, the toss requires no target. Since he's playing mid-tiny, he's able to just toss her away from trouble twice over.
All right, Serpent Ward used. But despite not having this Aegis, they are not afraid to push. Nightfall focusing on the Serpent Ward, the enormous one. And he's going to get tossed back into the Roche banner. Makoto with a preemptive BKB. 23 Savage with the same as he goes to town again onto Kiyotaka. Is he going to die? Yes! 85 seconds of no Pango again. And now the horse cart comes into play. Nightfall getting kited to a high degree. Multi-shot. Oh, he does get the borrowed time off in time as Toronto Tokyo gets up close and personal. Gonna go down apparently. Nope. Nightfall jumping in really close as well, but the box is gonna save the Drow. Nightfall, life number 1 down. Panto on the other side. Gonna get clipped by the multi-shot. 23 Savage. Keeping his distance, as you can see the backstab attempt from the Dark Willow. Mira is going to die for his efforts, but 23 Savage getting super low. Finally will drop, but it's going to cost Aurora deeply. Nightfall going to try to chase, but the cart is back up. You cannot counter this thing other than what you just did there, which is the overwhelming blink to slow them down to a crawl. WS going to get taken out for his troubles as well. The Makoto with a toss to spare. This might cost him his life. The Avalanche now. Connecting onto both as they try to both retreat.
Oh my god.
And the horse cart up in 10 seconds.
Wow,
he won't actually need it, so they both survive. That is a love story.
Look at those damage numbers. It's like the carries are doing everything.
They're beasts.
Oh my god. Can Kiyotaka please stop dying in 2 seconds? It's like crazy, these fights. Well, the good news for him is he'll have Ghost after next fight. And there was... The way this fight started, it looked like they were going to be able to pressure the Drow more than they were able to, but the toss is just such a big asset in this game for Talon to have. Really helping them stay alive in the fights, and when all said and done, it's kind of another draw, I guess. Like,
there's no point in looking at net worth lead here.
Not really.
Wind Waker now on Makoto.
Okay, I just realized they have triple Pyrrhic Cloak on Aurora. They've had that for a while, but I feel like we haven't really seen that kill the Drow. But theoretically, if they all were to use that while she's doing a volley, a multi-shot, she could just kill herself on that. Kiyotaka with Ghost Scepter. We also saw the initiation originally from the side of Talon. They tossed out the Abaddon, and he would have died in that Shaman Hex if it weren't for the Wind Waker of Mira. So I think they will be considering potentially getting a Nullifier of their own to solve that problem. Nobody's got it in their quick buy, actually. So maybe that just won't be a thing they purchase on Talon's side, which could be a little bit of a problem. Having 0 Nullifiers in late-game Dota, I think, is generally a mistake. There's just so many save items that have really high impact. In particular, Wind Waker.
23 Savage looks to be prioritizing a refresher before
Radiant are scanning.
the Silver
Dire
Edge
are
right now.
scanning.
Yeah, I think it's the right choice. He needs 2 BKBs. Kiyotaka with the TP out. However,
That's
Panto,
gonna find Panto.
not so lucky. Ghost Scepter.
Let's get the AA blast off, but that's a 12 and 5 Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
As refresher, Midas, of course, as we mentioned. Shadow Shaman has his Hannah Midas in his backpack, by the way.
Not going to do much good there. Probably going to sell it for BKB, or is he going to hold it? He's saving it. Okay. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Now's the
You
time.
can get one more
He's
use
saving.
out of it here pretty shortly. Not in your backpack, though.
Yeah, might want to move it out of there.
Yep. That might be the play.
Is he going to go and place a Serpent Ward? It's looking like that is the plan, but Aurora trying to find a flank. This is with a dead AA, by the way.
Oh, they're going to try the wraparound.
Yeah, full wrap. This is a decent play if they do it quick enough and then buy back the AA. They're trying to catch them by surprise, but
There's the Serpent Ward.
yeah, this is very
seem
telegraphed.
ready.
It's
They seem
telegraphed
ready.
now. It's very telegraphed. It was too slow.
23 Savage is going to break the smoke, gets on his Glacier, and goes to town on Toronto, Tokyo. He's dead. That's a bristleback, or it was at least. Buys back into the game along with the AA, so they got the Ice Blast at the ready. Nightfall with the BKB. Going to use the overwhelming blink, but the Stampede to try to get away from Nightfall. Borrow time finally goes off. 23 Savage stuck in the cliff here. He's going to get saved by WS. The horse cart has arrived again. Wheel of Wonder does a decent amount of damage here as Nightfall getting super low will drop. Buyback available, Toronto, Tokyo. He cannot survive the damage of 23 Savage, especially once he's on that cart. Kiyotaka on the low ground. Another death for him. Triple kill for 23. A nice toss back onto Makoto using the Wind Waker. Panto, this will be a dieback. Hoof Stomp comes out. One more toss for the road. That's 4 dead for Aurora. And this is going to be GG, and this is going to be game 3.
Wow. This is going to be a long day, huh?
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a real long day for everyone. Well, not for the teams. They're only playing 1 series a day, of course, so...
I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but they keep pulling it off time and time again. Bloodseeker support for Talon. OD mid for Kiyotaka, not been the most popular hero so far in this patch. Cinderin, your thoughts?
I love OD.
In what way?
I think it's... First of all, I think it's a good pick this game, but secondly, I also just love the hero. I think it's
Really?
cool to see it being played. Yeah.
Really?
Who doesn't love a good Sanity's Eclipse? Like, come on now. It's so
That's not,
satisfying.
but the hero is... Are we going to have this conversation?
Yeah?
I'm going to bring you down.
Okay.
Astral Prison is one of the stupidest spells in the game. It feels bad.
Okay.
Laning stage. Oh, Astral you. Oh, I'll deny your creeps. Oh, I'll last hit your creep.
Yeah. I mean, if they...
Sanity's fine, though.
Deal with
right? Sanity's is cool.
Yeah, Sanity's really cool.
Nightfall.
It's also just cool to have a mid-hero that has a
The
save
battle
like that.
begins.
For himself, yeah.
Oh, well, for anyone. 3 runes for the side of Talon. Panel talked about it. It's a really good game for Centaur in the offlane. This should be a very easy lane to face in what we're assuming will be the Morphling plus Chen. Could, of course, also be the Morphling Shadow Shaman, and then they put the Chen on position 4. But either way, I think that bottom lane is kind of a gimme for WS. Should be farming very well down here. And Panto will indeed join the lane. Something about OD to keep in mind, I just want to loop back to this because it's the special hero of the game, if you will, together with the Bloodseeker, is... obviously, Sanity's Eclipse does damage based on the difference in mana between yourself and the targets. These heroes on the Dire have really bad mana, with the exception of Ringmaster. You look at that, there's no int heroes, they don't have good int gain, they don't buy mana items in general. Like, Void will maybe buy a Skadi, which will help for sure, but outside of him, it should be a game where Kiyotaka could really get some damage done. Unless he gets silenced by the Bloodseeker, of course. Cast Blood Rage on him will really mess with his fights. We'll see.
I'm loving this Bloodseeker. We, of course, have seen it carry, coupled with the Silencer, being pretty devastating in the lane, at least in one of the 2 games we cast. Now we're seeing it support. Now, the Blood Rage gives how much damage? Or is it attack speed?
It gives attack speed.
So, yeah, with the Morphling, maybe you can take advantage of that, Cinderin, if you put it at the wrong time. If you're going for that play, at least.
Yep. I think in this game, if you want to use Blood Rage safely, you try to target OD with it every fight. Because it doesn't matter that OD has attack speed if he's silenced, right? Because then he can't use Arcane Orb.
Yeah.
So, that's a great target the whole game through. It's really good against Pangolier. It's really good against Shadow Shaman. Just, yeah, be wary if you silence the Morph.
Toronto Tokyo playing the Pango this time around, so I literally was going to call him GPK. Kiyotaka, different hero finally, going to be playing the OD as we talked about. This matchup against Tiny. I mean, back in the day against any melee hero, OD would be pretty happy. Is that still the case here?
This should be a pretty good lane for him. Tiny does well against most heroes in the beginning, but come level 5, OD is just going to banish you and slowly whittle you down and win the lane. I don't think this is a lane that Tiny is meant to... I mean, maybe he can tie it, actually. He should definitely not be winning on the Tiny.
Makoto, off to a pretty good start. It's very even in the CS department in the mid lane, at least. Top of the charts, though, is the Pango, so Toronto Tokyo owning it up. Of course, it is very early on, but...
It's an easy lane. We talked about the Centaur having an easy lane, but Faceless Void is just a weak laner, right? You're not picking this hero to win your lane. You're picking it for the late game. You're picking it for combos with Chronosphere. Picking it for time dilation, which has its merit here for sure.
Yep.
Really annoying spell for Pango and OD to deal with. Morphling will buy a Manta, so he'll eventually have a solution. Kiyotaka is actually getting Mikoto quite low here in the mid lane.
Another double jump from Toronto Tokyo. Barrier's been pretty big. Well, his courier's going to get taken out by Cuckoo. Not careful enough. Yeah, Kiyotaka with the HP advantage. Makoto's going to have to play a little bit passive as he puts down the Ava. Mira on the sideline, ready to join the fight here at a moment's notice. He's going to be taking the bounty rune away from Makoto. So,
Fortune's change.
it's another annoyance for the mid laner. I guess it's, yeah, he does have his bottle on Makoto.
Yeah, that's the only lane where there's a significant CS disadvantage, is that mid lane. So I'm not surprised to see OD winning this, especially when we're approaching level 5.
Shackle and another double jump. He's continuing healing. Shield crashes. Mira. Oh, first blood goes to Toronto Tokyo first. 23 Savage. Is he going to catch up to Mira? He does. Ether Shock as well in a couple seconds. There's the jump. Oh, he actually just gets hit. Okay. So 23 gets the trade-off kill, but obviously first blood for Aurora. They will take it.
trying to bring in the Ringmaster to mid here. To ward is Cuckoo, and maybe looking for a play onto Kiyotaka with Mikoto. Oh, they're reading it.
Incoming. Kiyotaka. Gonna get the Astral onto Mikoto. There's the Shackle to follow. There's not gonna be much follow-up though. But neither mid laner will die. 20 seconds away from Power Rune, and I think Talon will probably have... We'll see.
Mikoto needs to be careful now.
Astral is extremely annoying in these types of scenarios when you're going for the rune.
If Mikoto plays this lane on half health, he can almost die to Astral ult. Gotta be cautious.
Kiyotaka going to the north. It is illusions. Would have been pretty useless anyway, but the Sanity's Eclipse for Kiyotaka, not going to be enough.
Not enough yet. That's the raindrop, wisely purchased here by Mikoto, of course, will help him against the constant harassment.
There's Jokam. He gets the Blood Rage off onto the Morphling. And the panel talked about it. You can see how powerful that can be if timed properly. Nightfall just easily taken out. I mean, typically this hero, even if you're not full agi, you're going to be majority agi to be able to last hit. As Cuckoo takes a shield crash and an ether shock to the face. So it will be a trade across the board, but obviously the morph much more valuable. Oh, he goes for it again. Enjoy that attack speed while you can.
So of course, dispellable, which is worth keeping in mind. Morphling will be itemizing to dispel it, but the other heroes will likely not have a solution for that for a while. Between the OD and the Pango. Guess you want to buy Lotus Orb on Pango to get rid of that, and as a semi-protection against Rupture as well. At least you're returning it. But yeah, unbelievably, this matchup is probably worse for Pango than it used to be. Already used to be bad, but that 8-second silence really sucks.
Well, they want 23 Savage. He's going to use his Time Walk already. And bot lane. Blood Ride's going to be way off, but not able to find the connection that they were looking for on the Morph. Meanwhile, Toronto Tokyo going to get some help with the Shackle from Mira, but the Stampede to counteract all of this. And now Mira in a bit of trouble, although Panto also around to help out. 23 Savage with the Time Walk, and I mean, mostly his farm just being disrupted here. Tower will take heavy damage, if not just be taken out outright.
Classic Chen. Go through the gate, fully out the enemy carry, or kill him.
23.
Tower.
He wants to try to defend. I need more reinforcements. Cuckoo is here as well, but they will be able to push them back for the time being. Kiyotaka, though, the gank.
Yeah.
Level 7 has
No
a
Stampede.
shield rune still. Yeah, no Stampede, as you said, so Mira will close the gap with the Shackle. Pretty damn tanky on WS with the double Bracer Vanguard. It's going to take a while. TP canceled off by the Astral. And now the only question is who grabs the kill. It is Kiyotaka.
And straight back to mid to farm and be joined by the Chen. I imagine Panto's only here momentarily or temporarily. I think you want to go back up top and continue where you left off. Just let Kiyotaka sit mid and accelerate. It's going to rush the Force Staff after Tread's double null. Pretty standard on the OD. Pike, an incredible item on this hero. Oftentimes we see Pike and some version of Witchblade. Sometimes you see Axe, BKB as the items for defense. The main thing that matters for OD is that fights are long enough and that you get to hit stuff a couple of times. And then you have a tendency to just deal thousands upon thousands of damage with one press of the Sanity's Eclipse and the fight's long enough. And in this case, might not even be necessary in this game because of the bad mana on the Dire heroes. You could even initiate with Sanity.
23. He actually might be dead here. Absolutely. Big kill for Aurora. You're going to get the tier 1 tower as well.
Gonna make a prediction right now, Shannon. Let it be known. 10 minutes in.
Yes.
this game will be less than
Dire's
40
top
minutes.
tower has fallen.
That is quite bold.
I think Aurora will...
That means you're favoring Aurora then.
Yeah, the way this is going and the matchups that they have and the fact that they're willing to run the Chen Shadow Shaman duo and that the lanes are successful, I'm a little bit concerned for the side of Talon with the pace that they're presenting here with the Void carry, a 4 Bloodseeker, and then the big difference this time is Mikoto, for the first time in series we've seen from them, is having a bad laning stage. And it's not because he's died, it's just because the lane's unwinnable. So... Mikoto has been popping off in all of Talon's wins. He's been doing exceptionally well this tournament. His conditions this game are just not the best.
Yeah.
And a 3,000 lead already, minute 11, with a mid tower probably soon to come here from the Chen. He's got his level 6 and will want to dive. This is an incredibly powerful timing for the side of Aurora. And you can just see they're just running from lane to lane, recognizing that Talon's heroes aren't really in fighting shape just yet. The Centaur is looking hot, but nobody else has anything. There's the dive. Diffusal played.
Tokyo has the ult as well. Now, the silence is applied to the OD. It's going to save some damage, but still, the Ringmaster is certainly dead here. Jokum still not level 6. Going to get Astral for his troubles. 23 Savage coming in, though. He has the Chronosphere at the ready. Stampede to close the gap, and Kiyotaka surrounded. And he'll be dealt with. And you talked about how this... You're feeling that this will be under 40 minutes. You forgot about these two teams that are playing against each other, Siddarin.
Oh.
Anybody with a network lead will...
Yeah, we'll mess it up.
The lead will be nullified.
Even though that is a 1-for-1 trade that does favor Talon, killing off the OD and only using your Ringmaster, they almost lost the tower, and Nightfall is taking bottom tower as well. So the map progression continues. And they're going to go straight back into mid again with Toronto Tokyo plus Kiyotaka. They want to finish this tower.
Oh, very. Okay.
Chen buying a tempo item. Drum of Endurance.
Yep, tier 1 will be taken.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Now, Rupture is now online, along with Wheel of Wonder. They don't really synergize particularly well. And that's one thing we didn't really talk about is the Chronosphere setup. So,
yeah.
I mean, they do have Bloodright to follow it up, and they do have Ringmaster Wheel of Wonder. So you can chain stun / silence if you time it well.
But there isn't
not
that
a ton of damage.
Exactly. There isn't that like wombo combo that's going to wipe you out, especially when you get BKBs. This feels like a game where Void needs to do a big chunk of the damage. And 23's start to this game just isn't too inspiring in that regard. We saw Satanic have an insane Void performance yesterday. I don't think he went Mask of Madness, did he? And either way, his start was way better. I think he went Maelstrom into Mjolnir than Scotty. And now 23 will go Mask of Madness into the Mjolnir. But yeah, the pace of the game, it will be slower for sure before he gets online. And now the question is, what will Aurora do with their lead? Now 14 minutes approaching. They will probably just be trading wisdoms and then continue to control, I want to say, like 55–60% of the map. Chen is playing aggressive in the enemy jungle, taking space away. Meantime, all of their cores are happily farming. I guess Roche is always a possibility when you have Shaman Chen. Especially with the new big Serpent Ward. It's very hard.
Yep. Arcane Rune available for Kiyotaka. As Mira will snag his Wisdom Shrine at the 14-minute mark.
OD also good at taking Roche nowadays.
Yeah.
That's been on and off. It used to not work on Roche, Arcane Orb, but it does now. So
I think that's gone back and forth like 4 times, maybe.
Scanning.
At least a few.
Nightfall.
For a dive here onto
Recover of
Nightfall.
his
He
tier 1.
seems wary of this.
Yeah, he attribute shifted
but
ahead
still.
of time. Avatos, Wheel of Wonder, and Retreat. They don't have the damage.
Great read from him. Now Mikoto needs to get out of there somehow. Very awkward spot.
Yep, the Stampede. Going to be pretty good for this, but the Rolling Thunder is coming. Toronto Tokyo. Looks like he's going to focus on the support instead, as Cuckoo will get inhibited. And Toronto Tokyo claims him. Makoto. Good avalanche as Kiyotaka wants to pursue. He's going to get ruptured in the pit. Blood right. Going to be dodged. Hand of Gaben as well. And the force staff to the other side. He's fine. Really well played. Now he's available for the fight if they want. As Jokum pretty much out of everything. He's going to get deleted. 23 Savage with the Chronosphere.
He's
onto
hexed,
2.
though.
Yeah. Can't follow it up with much else as a result of the Hex. And this fight not looking that great. Look at the double edge, but the Sandy's Eclipse comes out for Kiyotaka. Deletes 1. The box upon WS. Only a matter of time before he's brought down as well. 3 dead in favor of Aurora.
That should be
7K lead at 16 minutes.
Yeah. This is starting to become a bit of a beatdown. Talon might have overcooked in this one. Be a tough run to recover. I was gonna say, my favorite thing to harp on nowadays, Shannon, is people not skilling the 1 value skill point in something.
Yeah.
Nightfall did not have ulti until level 12. In that chase down against the Tiny, probably would have killed him if he just turned into Tiny and avalanche him, but
wow.
he had 2 extra all attributes
Wow.
instead.
God, these carries, man, they're just getting greedier and greedier as time goes on.
I don't know.
Somebody needs to have an intervention with Nightfall.
Here comes Roche. Kiyotaka with the amp damage and Arcane Orb level 4. This is pretty quick, considering it's just him and the Chen doing the brunt of the damage.
Yeah, 17-minute Roche. Pretty damn good for Aurora.
OD is an amazing Aegis hero. He has pretty high armor. When you kill him the first time, he might even delay the first death with the Banish. And then if you don't have enough the second time he comes around, he'll punish you for all the spells you've used.
Now Kiyotaka, 17 minutes in, 2-1 scoreline. Definitely his best so far. Has the Aegis as well.
He's got a full pike coming out.
Jokum.
Not much to write home about for Talon. They're just getting completely out-farmed and unable to find moves. And once again, going to come back to it. Makoto's game is terrible.
Yeah.
In spite, he's 1-0-0. You'd be like, okay, you know, it happens. Sometimes you don't find kills. He just doesn't have much more.
They fourth the wave as he's avatossing. He's not getting anything.
Yeah. Gonna use that to take the bottom tower on Nightfall, probably.
I mean, their top net worth is Centaur.
Yeah.
Usually not a good sign.
Indeed.
He does have the Halberd for the OD.
I think my 40-minute estimate might even be a bit conservative at this point.
Based on this patch so far.
I did say shorter than 40. I didn't want to be too greedy and say 30. I was like, that might be a bit, you know. But honestly,
it's getting there. It's getting there.
Feels like
Dire's bottom tower is
initiative.
under
And
attack.
they,
Bottom tower
this time
is
around,
falling.
something we've talked about, some teams don't draft very much high ground. You can take high ground. You got Morph, Shaman, Chen.
Oh, yeah.
Not an issue. Not an issue whatsoever. Classic 18-minute phase boots for Tiny. Loving life. It's like, guys, I got my next item.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He has
Tough
been a
times.
monster this tournament.
I wonder how big of a part of the pick here from Aurora, as we see Ringmaster easily taken out for Kiyotaka. I wonder how big a part of the OD pick was because of them recognizing that Makoto shutting this guy down might just completely stifle talent, in particular with this draft, but also in general. This guy's doing a lot of lifting for this team in the
Dire's
early mid
bottom
portion of the
tower
games.
is under attack.
So shutting down his laning stage, really taking the steam out of their gameplay.
Kiyotaka not afraid to fight with that Aegis. Gonna take the full Avatos. There's the silence upon him. He's gonna use that attack speed. Jokum.
Radiant are scanning.
That's so stupid.
Dire's bottom
Astral
tower
ready
is
again,
under
but doesn't
attack.
get the vision.
Dire's bottom tower.
And Blood right, but Makoto has other thoughts. They miss everything. They toss the Rasta back, miss the Avalanche.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Rasta will get a D ward for his troubles, it seems. Yeah, Talon falling really flat in this game 3. Expecting another barn burner. You're right, this might end up being a stomp.
Attack.
Still will go down as one of the best series of the tournament, though. 12K lead at this stage of the game is pretty massive.
Dire's structures are fortified.
About to be 13 when this tower falls, surely.
Still with a full 2 minutes on the Aegis, and We can see
Dire's middle tower
they don't
has
have a
fallen.
tier 2 bottom any longer. It's only the tier 2 top that remains, and I would think with the remaining time on this Aegis, Aurora can get that.
Yeah, they're going to go for a move here. Makes sense to smoke up. You're so far ahead. Talon must be going out on the map for something, and you see Mira draw the line to what would effectively be an excellent backstab. Talon are reading the move, though. Might not get caught. Cuckoo offering himself up as a little smaller prize. But they want 23 Savage, and he'll react in time.
Oh,
Mira.
time walk. He has to use the chrono just
He's
to get
stuck.
away. Oh my
He used
God.
Mom!
Oh my. Well, he might still be fine. He's actually going to turn this around onto the Shadow Shaman, as the hoof stomp will be there to claim the support. But Rupture coming out as Nightfall makes his way over, gets the time dilation onto several heroes.
Oh, no.
So eventually 23 Savage does fall.
Oh, no, that's bad.
I think he might have enough time to go take a quick shower
That's
in
real
between
bad.
deaths here. And Makoto will be run down, as well as Aurora just completely stomping this game 3. And they're on the doorsteps.
I'd
They're
like
not
to
gonna stop.
revise my conservative 40 minutes and change it to, what do you think, 30 or 25? I'm starting to second guess my 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you even defend when they're in the base? Like, is this just over? Can you even fight?
I don't think so. You don't have Chronosphere.
Yeah, what's your damage now? Your Tiny has a Blink Eva Toss combo, no additional damage. Your Bloodseeker doesn't do damage. Centaur has defensive itemization. I think they kind of just can't kill anyone. Chen still has the mech ready.
Aegis is down, though.
They have no reason to go back here unless they're missing the creep wave. They need the wave. That's it. This
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Well, Nightfall will be TPing, so
is exceptionally conservative if they don't
So-
follow through here in mid. But
he Massa Madness there.
that's really unfortunate. He could have maybe found the kill. I don't know if it would have ended well, but I think maybe they get at least the Shadow Shaman for their trouble. Didn't recognize that he was stuck, and no Quelling Blade means couldn't get out of there.
Precious bump.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Time for Tormentor.
Yep, it'll be an easy Tormy. They're probably going to get the tier 2 as well. Then you only have to wait potentially a couple minutes for the next Roche, and that's when you can likely finish the game. Mira rewarded with the shard.
Bit of foul play for him.
What went wrong here for Talon? You think it's a draft-related thing, or?
Yeah, I
Radiant's
feel like
bottom
honestly
tower
this is
is under attack.
just an outdraft. When I see the game unfold, the massive damage issues you're playing against Chen, those games have a tendency to be very one-sided because Chen will force you to fight him by taking all your towers and all the objectives with his team. And if you can't fight back
Dire
because you don't have damage, he's going to out-heal the damage you put into the fight, and you're just going to, take all the objectives as you want. On top of that, you had a really good counter pick in the mid lane. The bottom lane of Centaur Bloodseeker, sure, like we established, this was going to be a good lane for Centaur, and it was, but it also is a good lane for Morph. So, effectively, Talon won 0 lanes, have no damage, and are getting 5-man.
tower is under attack.
I mean, that's kind of it. If this is what this game boils down to, let's say they replayed it, how much better could they have done? It's the way I look at it is, sometimes you just mess up a game and you're like, yeah, if we played this 5 times, we could probably find a win about half of them. It's like, I don't know how many, I think they might not even win this game like 2-10. Probably. And if that's my overall conclusion, I would personally just call it a complete outpick, but definitely not an inspiring third game from Talon here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Finally, the Mjolnir comes online now for 23 Savage, so he has a lot more damage, but a lot more is not enough when you're fighting into a Chen with Greaves, Hand of God. And of course, we have the OD save still as a factor. 25k lead, 1,000. It's ironic because in this series, even when one of the teams has been ahead by 10 kills or it's been a little bit lopsided for different phases, the gold has always stayed pretty close. And in this game,
in spite of it being a relatively low kill score, this lead is basically unthrowable. 1,000 GPM has a ridiculous win rate, and if it's sub 30 minutes, it's got to be like 99%, honestly. The graph says 96, but these stats are pulled, I want to say, primarily, if not exclusively, from pub games, and the pro level execution is just higher, so hoping for a miracle here if you're a Talon fan.
Indeed.
This would be a start, but no,
Avatos.
can't even kill him.
Mira survives. Now, Roche can be up in the next 2.5.
They might want to wait for that and then go high ground with their morph.
Yep, I would think so.
And it is interesting to see how the teams are probably significantly changing their approach and their overall mentality to the game based on their very recent experience, right? Because this is one of those games where I feel like if this was the last patch, the game would be over already. I think Aurora would have stayed and just pushed the second lane and forced out a GG. But you're a little bit hesitant.
The attribute shifted again in time, just ahead of time. Nightfall just on top of things right now. And Mira does go for the Hex, but I don't know if they want to fight. No. Aurora.
Get ready for Roche.
Yeah, Roche is available now. Just very disciplined play from Aurora. Not something that we have seen for most of their games.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, is you're obviously learning as you go in this patch, and with how the other games have gone, this is such an anomaly that you might not even feel like you're as far ahead as you are. They're obviously aware that they're stomping this game, but they might not. If you pause right now and ask them, I don't think they think they're 25,000 up, right? So, either way, they know they're very far ahead, and they will look for the killing blow now. Heading down mid lane, Nightfall about to pick up his pike, 800 away from it. They could wait for that item timing if they wanted to. It would align nicely with a Chen pipe, just to completely make this impossible numerically.
Numerically
for the Dire team. I mean, okay. All right. It's never fully impossible, but let's put it this way. If Chen gets to press his buttons next to his allied heroes, I don't even know if they kill anyone in Chrono. And that's where we're at. The Radiant Core heroes are so tanky.
23 Savage is the real prize, but
get out.
Teleport away.
Stalling the best they can. Is there some sort of light at the end of the tunnel here for Talon? Are they...
I mean, this Bloodseeker pick, I have to say, after getting that one kill, has been
pretty much worthless.
Completely useless. I think we've seen one run. I mean, part of it has to do with just, you know, them losing basically every lane, but he went for the Aether Lens, by the way. Didn't mention that, so he can get the Rupture or Blood Rage from farther away. Yeah. But that does feel like it's a bit cheesy. If it doesn't work in the laning stage with the whole Blood Rage, it feels like it falls a bit flat, you know? I guess you could put it on your Faceless Void. It already has Mask of Madness, so...
Yeah, it's... I'm not going to write off Bloodseeker 4 as
No, I'm not saying it was... I'm just saying in this game it was not useful at all.
But in this game it's twice as bad because, like you said, the lane doesn't go well, which is one thing, and that can be okay as long... I mean, your offlaner was happy. You didn't get much, but that's fine. But it's because of the, like, the whole package. You can't utilize what Bloodseeker is good at in fights when you can't fight to begin with. And he doesn't farm very fast if he's not played as a core, so he's kind of just there. And here comes the siege. Nightfall. Gonna get started. Free tower first.
OD Ags now on top of that. That's basically the upgraded version of an Aether Lens, or an Aether, Eon Disc. Jeez. Yep. Oh.
They can't even destroy the server anymore.
They cannot. This will be another set of barracks for Aurora. And now into the mid lane, which does not have a tower any longer. Talon. Okay, well, they got the BKB on 23. That's going to have to be good enough for them to try to go for this, surely.
Can they kill anyone is now going to be the big question. And how do you initiate? I think you have to try to kill Shadow Shaman first, if at all possible. But he could get saved by the OD and the Chen. So
30-minute rune is coming as well. We'll see if they wait to see what pops up.
Sanjin Yasha here on the Pango. Interesting for Toronto, Tokyo against the Bloodseeker counter matchup. Oh yeah. Aurora
All right,
wanted to cross the half an hour mark.
Oh my, just casually, a couple right clicks on the Cuckoo, gets him to half HP. There's the toss back. Already attribute shifting though.
Okay, they tried to toss him onto Centaur, but they mistimed that completely, so didn't even hit the stomp.
It happens. Astral provides some space for Nightfall to easily get the melee barracks, and only one range remains between Mega Creeps
And
the end of the game.
okay. This is when you say between, there needs to be
I know,
two.
I know,
thing.
I
Yeah,
know.
okay. Just making sure we're still speaking the same language. Somewhat. All right, in he goes again. Nightfall.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
try
the
again.
toss back, hoof stomp to follow. He's at half health. Attribute shifting away though. Now the Astral from Kiyotaka, who's going to get silenced. And Toronto Tokyo coming in with the Rolling Thunder. Nightfall going in very deep. Ghost Scepter is popped onto the Ringmaster to stay alive through this Sandy's Eclipse, but 23 Savage actually time walks all of the damage away. Chronosphere comes out. It does hit 2. Can they get a Rasta? He's a full HP.
They cannot.
How does he get to full HP? That is insane. GG's called before everybody even falls. A 17-3 dumpster stomp here. Aurora takes game 3 as easy as any game we've seen this tournament.
Yeah, if this were a script,